Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, it is I, Trooper SJP, and this is the Academic Foxhole. It is a lovely Saturday afternoon, and I am here to play the Outer Worlds with you. Hello. Oh, I don't have any water. What? Hi, everybody. How are you? What are you doing? What is happening? Krillin! Hi. Wait, Rissa is here, but barely awake, has been unwell since about 1 a.m. Oh no! At least my cat was willing to keep me company until 3 a.m. Oh no! I'm so sorry. Rissa, drink fluids and murder your enemies. Hi everybody, how are you? I just realized something about this, which, I don't know how I feel about that now. So I did this thing, which I thought would be super cool, and I suppose it is cool, sort of. Look, I've got so many things to talk to you about. Chat. Battle buddies. We need to talk about many things. But one of those things is that so I suppose we should talk about the very first thing, the very first and most obvious thing. And that is, I've changed my stream settings. I don't know if you can tell the difference. Maybe you can't. I don't know. I really can't say. But I have. I've changed my stream settings. I have a very, the internet on my campus is quite robust. So hey, Shinobi, how are you? And your light looks odd. I look pale. My light is the same as it ever. I mean, I could add more lighting if you like. When you have this stream, I tend to look, because I have overhead light. My Saturday streams, I stream from this camera and have the overhead light, and it's just kind of how that is. Anyhow, so I've changed my stream settings. So normally I was streaming on Actually, I spent some time last night changing a bunch of settings. But normally I stream at 720p and 30 frames per second. I'm currently streaming at 60 frames per second, and I've changed my base canvas to be bigger, and although I'm still streaming out of 720, I could probably stream at a 1080, but I'm not, because I know that not everybody has the internet that is beefy enough to handle 1080, and because I'm an affiliate and not a partner, I'm not guaranteed transcoding. So if people come in and they don't have transcoding and they can't, do you see what I'm saying? Anyway, so I've changed the speed of my encoding. I actually just changed a bunch of stuff. Now I suspect it won't make a huge difference since I'm currently just kind of sitting here chatting with you all. But I did want to. I was up last night making a bunch of changes to my streaming setup, so we will see. I think it's that you don't have light pointing at your face. Well, here you go. There you go. I now have light pointing at my face. If that will, because sometimes I remember to turn this light on, and sometimes I don't. But if that one there, and if here, I can even do this. Hold on. There, I can make it. Ta-da! Light on my face. Let's see. Do I have a book called Grognard? Oh, I do actually. I do. I do have a book called Grognard. Jer, that is a true statement. Do you have a window to my left? No. To my left. Oh, you mean your left over here? Yes, there are windows over there, but they are all my blinds are down. I always keep them down because I like to control the amount of light that comes in. Actually, also, my blinds are almost always down all the time in all the rooms. There you go. I am less shadowy now. Now I wish I typed out my guess, but the frame was... Scabbyneck! Right, yeah. So I don't know how much of a... Oh yeah, there's like... Here. Oh. There you go. Those 4 inches are now gone. Ice Bunny, if those 4 inches of light have offended you, they should not be there anymore. So there you go. Now, what were you saying over there? Oh, that's right. You just reminded me that I wanted to do something. What I wanted to do was pop out chat a little bit more is what I wanted to do. Let me see. I'm also, by the way, not... I've been recording to MOV files, and I'm not recording to an MOV file right now. I'm recording to an MKV file, because apparently that's a better thing to do when you're recording in case chat dies, in case something happens to the recording. So, you know, I'm just changing a bunch of settings to see how they work, and hopefully they will work out better. So, let me get my chat back up to a place that is, you know, usable. I just realized that, you know, I kind of want chat here rather than here. There. Ta-da! Okay, let me catch up on chat. Grognard will get there. Not all the way down. No, Ice Bunny, I always have my blade, my things. I do not need to flood this room with huge amounts of light. Especially if you think that I have, if I'm already looking pale because I have too much light already. That will not help. That will not help. That'll just be a bunch of light coming in that we do not need. Okay, what do we have now? I think the light coming through the bottom of the window in the background is what caused it, since it's right in frame. Maybe. What? I fixed it. But yeah, I keep my blackout curtains drawn. Me too. This is Scabby Neck. Blackout curtains are awesome. Sadly, these are not blackout curtains. They're the shades, but you know, I can do what I can. Are we expecting Cole's premiere to be coming this Friday? No. This Friday I will be doing another going solo. I have to decide what to do. I think I'm going to do one of the Againsts, the Call of Cthulhu Againsts, on Friday as our going solo. Let's see. Well, things look great on my end, so nothing catastrophic. Good. I mean, so look, I've changed what I'm recording, what format I'm recording as. I've changed my frame rate. I've changed my bit rate. I think I put my bit rate at 4,500, which is what Twitch recommended, although other people recommend 5,000. So maybe I could have a better bit rate. It's a little unclear. We will see. But I wanted to test before we did an RP on Friday. So as far as I remember, does natural light look different? You're not supposed to mix them, and your students not to see you normal. That normal. Yes, I don't think you're supposed to mix them. Or if you do, but I don't think having a bunch of light coming from behind me would be good anyway, right? Because that's going to come right at the camera. So yes, I'm going to be doing, yes, it is sad, but I will be doing an Alone Against on Friday, and yes, there are bunches of things to chat about. I brought up the what do you call it? The new streaming situation. Yeah, I still have not set up my new microphone. I have a new microphone and a new audio interface. I just haven't had the time to go through and work on my compression and my plugins and all of that. So, Scabbyneck says, you can mix natural and studio lights, just want them to be the same temperature so the white balance doesn't look goofy. Yeah. Warm or cool. Also, Ice Bunny, when I'm streaming from this camera, I'm using a different light setup. Usually I have these lights, the overhead lights are off, and then I have a side light, and that side light I have is actually quite warm. And this one is actually quite warm as well. You probably can't tell because it's other lighting. Anyway, I have all the side lights off, and the lights that I have on are very warm, because I find when I have cool lights, I look weird. And so the whole temperature is different when I use this camera versus that camera there. Hey, Valtiel, how are you? So, let me see, what else? There are a lot of things to share and talk about, but I'll be doing an Alone Against as our going solo on Friday. And that is that. What else did I want to tell you? Tomorrow at 2 p.m. over at MS Society, I will be in a charity stream run by Wandering DM. I've got to update the channel so that on my calendar so that you know the proper place to be, because it currently has Wandering DM as the location, and that is not the case. Um, the warm lighting is cozy. Yeah, also, because of my skin tone, if I have very cool lighting, it makes me look very, very strange. I look quite jaundiced and off. So, you know, yes. Ooh, Shinobi. Charity Street. That's a link. Hey, did you know that Twitch has a brand new charity thing? They have like a brand new charity, like an in Twitch charity manager, which seems pretty awesome. And I'm kind of excited about that, and I want to see if I can test it out. Uh, no, Colos, no, Asligate Super Night. Well, I'm gonna be streaming Ice Bunny. I just won't be streaming Colos. I'll be streaming Alone Against the. I have to figure out what the first one. I've got all four of them. I have to figure out what the first one of that series is. Uh, so yeah, I will be streaming Ice Bunny. There will be Foxhole Friday. No matter what, there will be Foxhole Friday. It just at the moment will not be Colos. It will be Alone Against. So if you don't want to get sleep on Friday, you can still hang out with me. Cool lighting should make people look cool. This is an outrage. I feel like it's your skin tone. I feel like it's your underlying skin tones, whether or not you will look cool in cool lighting. I think I look more clammy. What microphone and interface did you get? I'm interested in these things. Oh, so currently I'm using an Audio-Technica 2020, which is a condenser mic, which has got great pickup. It picks up things quite well. It uses phantom power, and I'm using as my audio interface the Scarlett 212. So when I first started, I was using the Blue Yeti, which was a USB mic, and this is not a USB mic. This is the AT2020, which is an XLR, which should have better quality, and I have got this Focusrite on, which is really good. Now, this setup is really good for playing music, actually. If I were going to record myself playing the banjo or whatever, this would be a very great setup for it. But what I got vested is I have now a Rodecaster Pro as my audio interface, which is not current. It's plugged in, but I'm not running through it because I have to go and set up my compressor and noise gate and all that stuff. And this is sort of made for. I'm touching it as if you can see it. You can't see it, which is terrible. But it's made for podcasting. And I set it up, and there's some very cool things about it. Also live streaming, right? There's some very cool things about it, which I'm very excited about. Namely, that if I play sounds, people in Zoom can actually hear it, which is from the computer itself rather than the other means, which means I could play music not through Roll20. There is just one thing that I need to deal with, and that is I have finally figured out my setup through audio routing, where I can have Zoom's audio on a separate input in OBS than the rest of the computer's audio, which means I can independently increase Zoom's audio versus game audio. So if I'm playing with Lindy, for example, and I want her to be louder than the game audio, I can just do that. And so this is going to involve re-looking at my audio routing setup to see what I can do to make this work. And actually, there was a video that I had up that was really useful, and I think I might have closed that tab. See, this is what happens when you close tabs. You lose things that you need. And then the mic that I have is a Rodecaster, is a podcaster by Rode. So it's the new mic is, which I can show you. I don't know if I can show you. Let me see if I can. Can I show you? So this is the new mic. This is the Rodecaster. It's a podcaster. I think it's called a podcaster. It's called a pod mic. A Rode pod mic, I think is what it's called. And this is not a condenser mic. It's a dynamic mic, which means that it doesn't pick up as much. It's much more narrow focused. You've got to be but people, actually I have another really good dynamic mic that I haven't used in quite a long time. It was my mic that I used when I was touring. I should probably get a Shure SM57. Anyway, point is that people tend to use dynamic mics when they're performing live on stage, because it picks up less bleed from instruments, etc., etc. So it's a little bit better on that. And so now I've got one of each style, and I'm going to pull in this other mic so I can decide if I like it. And so I'm basically going to swap over to this new audio setup as soon as I have time to finish that. But of course, the computer meltdown has slowed down my my free time. That set me back about 2 weeks, and I was planning on having this all set up by now, but then that was not the case, sadly for me. Alone Against the Fire is Shinobi, is Alone Against the Fire the first one? Because if it is, then that's the one I will do. So now I'm catching up on chat, by the way. So Twitch, in Twitch Charity Manager, yes, there's a brand new charity manager. They've been advertising it. They've also been advertising that they want us to advertise more, because they're giving us now a better split with ads, 55% or whatever, rather than 50%. I don't know what it is, because I'm still not doing it. I will do a pre-roll so that people who come in don't have I will do a I will do like that ad break in the very beginning so people don't have pre-roll ads, but I don't enable ads on my stream. I just don't do it, and I don't want them there. So I just generally don't want ads there. I don't care if they're going to pay me more money. I'm like, look, $10 a year is just kind of not worth it for me to hassle you all. So there, that's what I have to say about that. But besides that, they do have a brand new charity manager. It's like a Twitch charity thing, which I hope will be like really good. I'm gonna check into it. I'm pretty excited about the idea of there being like an integrated charity manager, because the thing that you don't know is that if you don't go through Tiltify or some kind of external charity manager situation, because like sometimes people will have you like donate to them and then they will then take all the money that they got and then send it to the charity. That is not great, because you have to pay taxes on it, right? If the money comes into you, you have to pay, it counts as income, and then you have to pay taxes on it, so it can be really irritating. If you go through a charity manager, that money does not come into you, so you don't have to pay taxes on it. So it's much better if you don't. You know what I mean? Like, it's much better if there's a charity manager. Now Twitch does have one. I've got to check out to see who's there, what charities are signed up. But I'm pretty excited about that as a possibility. Yeah, Schematic. It's cool lighting makes me look like a vampire. So there's that. This is what I'm saying. Hey, Atomica. Alone Against the Darkness? Alone Against the Fire? Yeah, I don't know which one is the first one, Shinobi. I've got to find out. Did the Jenga... It did. The Jenga last night. I didn't make it. It was just one of those things where if I rolled a 5 or a 6, I would like be able to take tokens off and get towards closer being rescued. And if I rolled, not a 5 or 6, I wouldn't. And I just kept rolling 1s to try to be rescued and 5s and 6s to draw cards, which, not great. Hawkeye says, I'm going to look into that as well. There are a couple of groups I'd like to do fundraising for. See, I feel like that's a great idea. And I'm going to try to figure out what I'm going to do. Yeah, oh yeah, okay. AT 2020. Yeah, it's what I have right now is a very good setup. But I wanted to try a dynamic mic. You can use that for music just as well too. Yeah. So the AT 2020, the focus I'm still going to be using for music, but I'm going to be trying out. I'm going to sort of swap over to the Pod Mic and the Rodecaster Pro, because here's the thing. I know a bunch of people really, really like the Go LXR, but that is not Mac compatible, and so the Rodecaster Pro is sort of like the closest. Now, sadly, I picked up the Rodecaster Pro right before the Rodecaster Pro 2 came out, but that is my life. Oh well. We will survive that. Yes. Let's see. How is the Abominable Snowman or Snowwoman make sounds? I don't know. Yetis or snow people. No, that's what it's called. Yeah, you can reroute everything with the Rodecaster Pro, huh? That should be pretty perfect. I can, but I want to see if I can reroute in slightly different ways. The Rodecaster Pro has got 4 mic ins, which is pretty awesome. It's got a Bluetooth in, so that people can actually, like, you can get basically if somebody called me on the phone, I could actually route them in through and actually have them being heard. So like, it's actually pretty cool in the ways in which it has set up to have a bunch of different things to be able to route into this router. And it's got like a full, nice suite. You know what? I can show you something. I don't think I can show you the Rodecaster, but what I can show you, I understand that I'm behind on chat, but I will get there. What I can show you is what it looks like, because this here is this is the what do you call it? The manual. The manual comes in 3 cardboard here, but this is what it looks like. So this is the Rodecaster Pro, and you can see it's got right 4 mic ends, mic/line. Where am I? Here. I don't know if these are line ins as well. They may not be. They may just be, because the Focusrite, which is also made for music, to be honest. Yeah, I bet these are not, because this is not. But the Focusrite, the Scarlett 212, their XLR ins are actually combined. So you can either put in an XLR or you can put in a 3/4 inch, a 1/4 inch jack, which is what you would use for like a guitar, like you're plugging in an amp or a guitar or like an electric banjo. So what's really great about the Focusrite is that it's got two ends, and I could like put in a mic and then like an electric banjo, and I could like record myself that way. So that's cool about that, which by the way, I'll probably be using mostly for music. This, I'm pretty sure those ends are not combined, because I don't see why they would do that. That does not seem to make any sense at all. But you've got your 4 mics with really nice faders. So nice. Like, very nice. Then you've got your inputs for the computer, Bluetooth, and also phoning in. You've got these pads for sound effects, which is very cool. So like I could have just separate sound effects just there if I wanted to play stuff not through Roll20, which is pretty awesome. It's got, how cool is this? 4 different headphone outs and a master, so I could have different mixes for myself and other people if I wanted. If I had people here, in person, I could have them mic'd separately, which is pretty awesome. So I could have people on their own mics if I were here in person. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. In the process of my computer dying, I have set everything back up again. The only thing I haven't done is I haven't actually set up my plugins. And, you know, to make everything sound good, speaking of things I may or may not have done, you know what I haven't done? I have not turned off backups. Don't need the computer backing up while I'm here with you. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm very excited about it. And before I, you've got to go and make sure you have your EQ, additive, subtractive, at the minimum, right? You want, if you're going to, and I know a lot of people don't do this, but I do. At a minimum, you're going to want to have subtractive EQ to take out any sort of weird frequencies in the room, some additive EQ to sort of balance out your sound. You're going to want to have a limiter so that really loud sounds don't blow out the mic. You're going to have like a noise gate so that low-level sounds like typing on the computer will not be picked up. And then you're going to want a compressor on there as well. So like those are like five audio plugins that you want to have on your mic regardless. And I have them set up for the Audio Technica AT2020. I just don't have them set up for the Rodecaster yet, and I would like to get that done first. So once I get that done and set up the mics so they sound good, then you will hear the new mic setup. That is that news. Let me see. Am I using something like Voicemeeter is not Mac compatible, so I cannot use Voicemeeter. That was Hawkeye. I use Audio Hijack and Looper, which are by Rogue Amoeba, and you can use them on the Mac. I went with the Podcaster, so the Rodecaster. Yeah, the Podcaster is way cheaper, and I was like, well, I'm gonna just check this out. Actually, the reason why I went with the Podcaster is because it came with when I got the Rodecaster, I was able to get it in a bundle. And I was like, hey, this comes with a bundle, so I will just get it all together. So it was a little bit cheaper. And, who knows, at some point in time, depending on what happens with our lives, I might just be able to upgrade to a slightly better mic, in which case I'll probably get a Shure, but that's different. You'll get a lot less room sound with that, which is nice. Yeah, absolutely. Time is the ultimate nemesis, crit twitch. I'm currently using an AT2020. Yeah, the Rodecaster is a whole setup on its own for sure. It is, but I'm also excited about it. And what this basically means for me is I'm going to have I'll have two audio setups, one for music and one for streaming. So that's pretty exciting for me. Is that still a thing? Did class not start? Classes for me start after the week after, so right after Labor Day. So the 6th, 7th of September. So I have next week classes. Next week is just like admin and stuff, but classes don't start until the week after. Hey, Lone Ku, how are you? Oh, Shinobi, you can search for it. Thank you. I thought you'd end up with a hypercardioid to keep it out of frame, but boy, do I like those soothing radio sounds coming from eating a dynamic mic. The thing is that the Audio-Technica is a cardioid, so I have that. Yeah, the Audio-Technica is a nice cardioid mic, but at the moment it's currently it's not on a stand I want. So I'm getting back to having a nice boom mic stand, which this one currently. I'm excited for a better setup, is what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. Scabbinac's like, yeah, the charity thing can really complicate your taxes. Yes. I worry about that for you regarding paying out Cast 2, says Kurt Witch. Well, I mean, I can take a little bit of hit on taxes, it won't be the end of the world for me. It's fine. Like, I can't write it off, but it's okay. It's not like I'm so big just yet. Valtio says, Alone Against the Flames is probably the first one. It's the one they gave away for free a while back. Well, then that's the one I will do. Atomica notes the dice were not happy with me. They were not. They just were like, we want you to die. And I was like, thanks. At least I didn't die to the creature. Rissa says, I'm seeing Alone Against the Dark, the Frost, the Flames, and the Tide. Not sure what the official order is. Hey, DSB, how are you? I have to think about that. In Denmark, says Ice Bunny, you have to ask for permission to collect money on a Kickstarter, even when it goes to a good cause. Yeah. I know that that a bunch of Europeans can't use crowdfunding at all anymore. It becomes it's become like a thing. Also, was the introductory adventure for the latest edition starter set, says Shinobi. Oh, there's also a Does Love Survive? That was a Valentine's Day special at one point. Oh, interesting. I bet that sounds bad. Look, I don't mean to say anything about Cthulhu, but if the adventure is called Does Love Survive, I feel like there's some dead loved ones coming back, and that's not going to be a good thing. Scabbynack says, I wonder if you could use your pod mic to talk to the person on a phone call as well. Oh, I probably could, actually. I probably could. A manual for ogres. The cards are so big. Right? They're so big, those cards. You say the name wrong. Are you saying that I'm saying the name Yeti wrong? I'm probably just not saying it Danish, but I'm not certain. Let's see. What is the etymology of the word Yeti? I did not think it was a Danish word originally. I thought that it was a... let's see. So, yeah, because I thought it was, because the Yeti is from the Himalayas. So I did not think that the word Yeti, yeah, it's Tibetan, right? It's not a Danish word. It is a Tibetan word. Yes, let's see. Road. Röde. Yeah, Americans don't say Röde, and I will tell you this, Ice Bunny, if I pronounce Röde as Röde, people would think I was pretentious. That is a thing I will say. So if I was like, oh yeah, I've got this brand new Röde caster Pro, people would be like, wow, you are pretentious AF, and they would find me really annoying. Is what I will say. I'm just letting you know that there are some things that people will find annoying, and one of them is if you bust out accurate, completely accurate pronunciations in English. Now, if I were speaking German, then of course I would pronounce it Röde because I'm speaking German. But there are just certain things that people don't like. If I was like, oh yeah, you know my friend, they've got a Mercedes-Benz, but another friend of mine has a Volkswagen, people would really not like it. They would think it's pretty weird. And I think it's because that's just not how it's pronounced in English. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Let's see. Rissa says, actually, that should have been Does Love Forgive? Survival is always what I think of when COC. That is fair. That is fair. I do not think it has combo jacks, which I actually think makes sense. Scabinak. Yes. Are you starting a podcast? This is my new audio setup, which I've not plugged in yet. But because I wanted to switch from a dynamic to from a condenser to a dynamic mic, and I wanted to try out the Rodecaster Pro because it's the closest thing you get to an XLR, a Go XLR Pro, and I thought it might just give me a little bit more excitement when it came to my audio setup. Let's see. Also, maybe I will be starting a podcast at some point in time, not right now, because of things. Yeah, and so I'm excited. I'm excited for some of this. It doesn't look like there's a specific order for the scenarios, but it does look like Alone Against the Flames with the first, which means I suppose I'll do that one. My planned cutoff stream for today is probably 3:30. You're not sure if you'll upgrade your mic? Oh, Jer, I see you. Scabianux says, I actually have a Knave Clone Golden Age Prec 33 analog preamp. Oh, nice. DBX 286s I'm using to DS and gate. Oh, nice. And an FMR really nice compressor. Really love all the dials and knobs, but it is not a cheap hobby, and I'm contemplating doing voiceover auditions to help pay for it. Hey, do it. Do it. I should probably do it myself, but I don't have time right now. You know what I mean? Rode is Danish, but copyright download, yeah. 5-minute stream delay? Is it? No. The stream is... No. Lonku. There's no stream delay. I'm just not caught up on chat. I'm just catching up on chat. So there is no stream delay. I think the stream delay is probably like 6 or 7 seconds. It's just that I'm way behind on chat. That's all. I just don't want to lose. I don't want to miss what everybody's saying in chat. That's all. See, Jared said it. I'm just behind in reading in chat. That is true. You got a Motu. Oh, which is all in software. You know, DBX. All those things are both very good. Let's see. The preamp was more than the 286s. I'm like, one of the only preamps in the price range, but I get you, Rode. Rode. People, Yeti they have a lot of fur because this is pH, because it's cold in space. Space is a vacuum. You actually don't notice the cold. Don't you just have like some... Isn't it just bad for you to be in space the minute you start trying to breathe? I just tried to sit like Trooper and I can't roll my R's well enough to do it. I also people cannot roll their R's. You know, a lot of those sounds don't exist in English. Well, that's actually also true. We don't have the rolled R in English, nor do we have the U. That also is a sound that we do not have in English. It's true. The right pronunciation, because you know that O is a letter, not a decoration. Yeah, but I think Ice Bunny, it's not really... Oh, I'm caught up now. It's not really about that. It's about, first off, some of those sounds don't exist in English. And secondly, you know, it's actually very interesting. It's kind of philosophical. It's a philosophical question. And the philosophical question is, if I pronounce road when I'm speaking English, am I mispronouncing it? Or am I pronouncing it correctly because that is how it's pronounced in English, right? So this is a sort of question of, is there only one pronunciation for a word that sort of, if you don't pronounce it that one way, you're doing it incorrectly? And in which case, if we do that, then I could be like, all those Japanese people are pronouncing those words incorrectly. All those English words, like, there are a bunch of English words. I was just watching I was watching that ad for Dungeons and Dragons. The Japanese Dungeons and Dragons ad, and of course Dungeons and Dragons pronounced like Dungeon und Dragons, right? And I can say, oh, you're mispronouncing it, like you're pronouncing that word wrong. But so one could say all those Japanese, when they use English words, are pronouncing them incorrectly, and they should pronounce them correct. They pronounce them right. Or one could say that actually it's a different word in some ways, right? It is that the word is not dragons in Japanese, it's dragonzo. And that is the word in Japanese that they have made, that they're not mispronouncing the word, right? That they're pronouncing it properly in a Japanese context. Or when I say road, I'm pronouncing it properly in an English context, because if I said, oh yeah, I got a rode, most Americans are not gonna, or most English speakers are not gonna know what I'm talking about. They're gonna be like, what are you talking about? What is that? And I was like, a rode. And they're like, and I don't know it. I'm just like, a road. And they're like, oh, why are you being pretentious, right? So I think that there's an interesting philosophical question to discuss. And this is like this is a bit of a thing, right? So how to navigate that. And what's tricky is that I speak German, and so there are a number of things I probably am going to default to the German pronunciation, right? But I will tell you what, I still call it, when I'm speaking English, I call it Munich and not München, because I feel like that's going to be, I just don't think that's going to go over well. Or what's the other one? It's another one. There are a couple there are a couple other towns that the English name is just a little bit different from the German name. I kind of ride the line a little bit where my pronunciation tends to be a little bit more German than English, but I don't go full on German unless I'm speaking German, because I don't want to alienate my speakers, the people that I'm speaking to, or have them not understand what I'm saying, which is kind of the whole point of language in the first place, right? So that's a thing to think about. Yes. Critwitch is talking to Scavenak. We're talking about audio, and Critwitch says, "Oh wow, I got a warm audio for the preamp. I'm betting yours sounds pretty sweet. I need to look your pre-Q up." Yeah. Hey, Critwitch and Scavenak. Media musings. Post all of your audio gear. Post it in chat. That's what I want to know. By the way, Rissa says I should perhaps load the game so I can pretend like I'm going to play today. I should, but there's a question that is lingering on my mind. Yeah, no, I will. That's what I'll do. So let's see. DSP says, this is like when some people living in Japan say they were going to IKEA, and people were like, why are you pronouncing IKEA weird? Like, what the F? Even though that's how they pronounce it in Japan. Yeah. Looking at how much you're all distracted, Trooper, I don't have to do anything today. I see you, Krellin. Trooper, you don't have time to do voiceover. No, I don't, which is why I'm not going to do them. I'll just note it, but I'm not going to do it. Squirrel. Trooper says, I'm caught up on chat. Also, Trooper spent several minutes on a tangent about pronunciation of a single letter. This is true. But now I'm almost caught up on chat again. Almost. Scabby says, Warm Audio has a pretty equivalent one to the Golden Age I got. But both companies make quite a few neat things. I got this one because it was a great price used. Because the top and bottom are scratched up. Oh, nice. Speaking of which, I'm going to continue. We're going to just do that. If I try to talk to an American about München, they might, Munich, they might know what city I mean without clarifying. Yeah. Yes. Rissa, Amazon is supposed to deliver something to me today, which was due to arrive Wednesday, but the last update says it's in Chicago. That was days ago. I'm skeptical they'll actually make it. Amazon says they're delivering something to me today, which they shouldn't, because it's a Saturday, and I have on my preferences do not deliver things on the weekends, because these are business addresses. But also, the thing they said they're going to deliver, I'm pretty sure has already been delivered. So that's kind of weird to me that they are... yeah, I don't know what is supposed to be delivered. I cannot say, because I think that's pretty weird. Those are my thoughts on that one. Japanese can't handle words that end in consonants. Yes, and I'm not going to... yeah, and I just think it's a weird... Like, I don't want to... by the way, I have to eat food. And turn up my audio. And also apparently repair all my equipped gear. So let's do that as well. Oh, also, it looks like my shotgun is... You know what? Hey, everybody. I feel like I have a thought. So this is a shotgun, which has got some electrical damage on it, which is cool. But I think what I should do is change... This is like a... I've got like the... what is this? I've got the corrosive damage on there. It's like a... Corrosion damage is good against robots, right? Yeah, and this is good against, I don't know. I don't know. I've got some damage types going on. I'm sure it's great. Oh, I was supposed to eat food. Sorry about that. I was like, what was I doing here? I was eating food. Here, let me eat. Let me eat some Raptidon meat. Great. Raptidon meat achieved. Game happening. Go to pause so I can catch up on chat. Uh, let's see. The Japanese use katana, katakana. The name on the mic is with an O. Cool. Yeah, but Ice Bunny, here's the question. Do you want me to speak in a way so that other people can understand what I'm saying? Or do you want me to speak in a way that is... And then also, where do we stop? Because so much of English is borrowed, right? This is a bit of a philosophical question. The Japanese actually doesn't purely use katakana. There are a lot of brand names that use the romanized letters, yeah. And Japan doesn't transliterate all of them. Yep. Perhaps, yeah, IKEA. IKEA? IKEA? Volosud. Did Samwise ever, since orc marking sounds, where there's a way, there's a way, when Rosie asked to do a house chores? Also, did Sam receive a pension from being war veteran of the orc army, or letters from a fellow comrade? This is a good question. Yeah, so look, this question about pronunciation is it's English is borrowed. That implies we're planning on giving things back. Okay, that's fair. We're not giving anything back. This is fair, Krellin. But they even sometimes make fun of it, right? They sometimes make fun of like it is a bit of a it is a thing that sometimes happens. People will make fun of Americans who will be speaking like this, and the minute they come to a foreign word, they're gonna bust out like some super big heavy accent in some people will do it with Spanish quite a lot, where you're like, what are you doing? That feels a little weird. I think there's a... Ice Bunny says, yeah, my English teacher did not understand that I read the Danish subtitles instead of listening to the English. Yeah, and so I think that there's a bit of a it's a debate. I think that one has to be respectful, but I think one also has to recognize that so to be fair, most of English wasn't so much borrowed as forced upon them. That is also true. The Norman invasion was a thing, right? The Norman invasion was indeed a thing. So I'm thinking about, for example, the word angst, which is a German word, but we use the word in English, but it does not mean the same thing in English as it does in German. And we don't pronounce it angst. That's just not how it's pronounced in English. I understand that's how it's pronounced in German, but in many ways, the word angst is just not the same thing as the word angst. And when I lived in Germany, there were a number of words that were theoretically American or English words that were not pronounced in a way that I would pronounce them, and I did not get mad at them. I was not like, oh my gosh, you're pronouncing that wrong. Also, I don't even think we use that word in English, so you go. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that there's there's a bit of a thing to sort of wonder about what that means. And I will just say this. I try to make sure that since the point of language is to communicate, I try to make sure that when I communicate, I'm communicating in a way that will be comprehensible to the people that I'm speaking to. And if using the proper pronunciation as per a different language in a different language makes it so that I'm not comprehensible to the people in the language I'm speaking, I try to tone it down so that I can be more comprehensible, because it just seems only polite. Dialect makes it even more complex. Absolutely, Javai. DSB says, I haven't studied Japanese in years, but I got my start with anime and hearing certain phrases often enough match with the same subtitles. The stereotype of the Japanese student who knows only anime catchphrases is very accurate for you. Well, the question becomes then, what anime were you watching? Because I feel like that's going to have an impact. But I was pretentious as hell about Japanese words when I was just starting. And that's the thing, right? Like, you want to sort of match, I feel like you want to match your audience in some way, and you want to be, yeah. You know, like you want to do it. You want to do it the right way. You don't want to alienate the people you're speaking to because that would be, yeah. If I was like, yeah, if I pronounce it "rude" to people who are English speakers, they would just not know what I'm speaking. They would just not know what I'm talking about, and then I'd have to stop and have to explain it. And they'd be like, why did you say it like that?" And you know, that's just one of those things. And I actually also don't think that it's also, you know what? Here's a really good example. Here's a really good example to flip it. German does not have the W sound. Doesn't have the W sound. Um, that sound does not exist in German. So Germans often have a hard time pronouncing W's in English. Um, what anime are you watching? Jordan Peele sweats. I watched unpopular anime. Nice, because I watched shoujo for girls and not shonen for boys, and shonen got marketed to both, but shoujo was just for girls. Oh, I would like some more information on this because we're talking about anime, right? Because like when I most of the times when I've heard about shoujo and shonen, I'm thinking about manga. So tell me more, because my anime watching is old, is very old. So my anime watching is very very old. Most of my anime is like from the 80s, like 80s and 70s anime is mostly what I was looking at. But then in the 90s, I watched Ranma One Half. That's what I watched. But then I mostly just read manga. Um, Mostly I read manga. Um, some films, right? Like Studio Ghibli, some films. But most of my mostly it's oh, I mean, gosh, I'm trying to think about like what anime I've watched that's modern because most like seriously most of my anime is old. But modern anime, right? Ranma One Half, um, Standalone Complex. What is that? Ghost in the Shell. Uh, yeah, Ghost in the Shell, Ranma One Half. I was gonna say Akira, but that's old too. Yeah, most of my anime is old, just like super old. So I'd be interested in knowing what that is looking like now. That would be interesting for me. Um, Walter is not pronounced Walter. Uh, sh- uh, Shoujo anime is better than shonen anime. Oh. Um, I just commissioned an artist to draw a fusion of the Jolly Roger and the Union Jack, and I'm excited. Oh, that sounds very cool. A prime example of shoujo anime, Sailor Moon. Oh, okay, I watched Sailor Moon. Prime example of shonen, Dragon Ball, One Piece. Oh, okay. Thanks, Krellin and Jer. Thank you. I will say, I have watched Sailor Moon. I have never watched Dragon Ball Z. So I suppose I just have not watched a lot of. Oh well, now Krellin, wait, Krellin, did you just say that Ranma is not modern? Is that what you just said? Are you calling me out? Are you attacking me right now? Are you attacking me? I feel like I'm being attacked. I feel like I'm being attacked. That's okay. First off, both Jer and Krellin are attacking me. I would just like to point out that at this moment, Chad is attacking me. I'm feeling very attacked right now. That's fine though. Apparently, Ranma is not modern, so awesome. That is fine. Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex isn't that old. Looks up air dates. Never mind. I'm just okay. So apparently, I'm just giving you old things. Okay, great. All my anime is old. A country ballad, says Scabby Neck. That would be a good country ballad. DSP says, Shoujo in my experience usually centralized a woman-girl main character and often places more value on the romantic subplots than shonen. Shonen is usually centered on men and boys and is more action. I know those definitions from manga, right? Like when I know those definitions from manga, although in terms of manga, my manga taste was neither one of those things actually. I think it was all I'm saying is all I'm trying to say is that when I was watching anime, neither shonen or shoujo were terms that were being used regularly. We were just like, we're watching, this thing, and it didn't really. didn't really come up as much. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Maybe you don't know what I mean. What I'm saying is that was not part of the discourse in the 80s so much, is what I would say. I am looking at, let me see if I can find it. I'm looking for something. No. Where did it go? Wait. No. Where's that list? There was a list, and I wanted to tell you. It was... Yes. So when it comes to manga, I tended to not... I'm looking up my terms right now so I can give you information, and I'm very excited for it. So excited. But now that there's chat, I've got to read it. Also, we're probably going to just kill some things while we're here. I don't even know why I'm walking in here because I want to catch up with chat because chat is going to tell me important things. Here, pause. Okay, I'm going to have to catch up. Let's see. My first anime was Heidi, and I was 4. Seda F never said that Heidi was an anime. Well, you know, Ice Bunny, that is also a philosophical question. What makes something an anime? And that's a tricky question to ask because some people would say an anime is any cartoon that's made in Japan. But I don't know if that's actually true because there are a number of cartoons aired in the United States that were technically made in Japan, but were commissioned in, like, Gem and the Holograms, I think also G.I. Joe, Mask. There are a bunch of cartoons that were American cartoons, but they just happen to be made in Japan. So were they anime? So there's like there are interesting philosophical debates about what actually constitutes an anime as well. Scamax says, you didn't watch Dragon Ball Z? You're missing a lot of quality power-up animations. I suppose that's true. Rissa says, I would go to the anime club showings back in college, but that was so long ago. Lodos War, Ghost in the Shell, Ranma popped to mind, Macross, absolutely, Vampire Hunter, D, all ancient. Yeah. Ranma the manga run from 87 to 96. That's when I was reading it, so okay, fine. Trooper, my half-brother used to be internet famous for writing Ranma fanfic online. I guarantee that's old. Okay, fair. Everyone's fine. It's fine. Lonku says, when I spent a high school year in the USA, a neighborhood high school, we were the West High Vikings, W and V. That gave me a hard time the whole year because it never became natural to me. I always had to think. Yes, to finish that thought, there is no W. The W sound we have in English is not in German. The W in English is a V in German, and a W in English doesn't exist. So what is a W in German is a V in English, and what is a V in German is an F in English. So they would say Volkswagen. Volkswagen is how you pronounce it in German, but you would say Volkswagen in English. Volkswagen. But there is no W sound. Our W sound does not exist in German. So I know a lot of Germans, when they say English words with W's in them, they don't pronounce them the way that they don't pronounce them correctly in English. You know, they would say Vater, or they would say Wagen, or they would say Walter, or they would say Wendy, or Wilson, or I'm doing very well, but that's not how you pronounce that in English. And I don't feel like... I was talking to my German friend once. I realize I'm no longer caught up on chat. But I was talking to my German friend once, and she had learned how to make the English W sound, but then she used it all the time. Like she would say vampire, and I was like, nope. She would like use it. She would use the W, our W sound when there were V's. So like she would say wary sometimes instead of very, or vampire instead of vampire. or vodka instead of vodka. And I remember saying, I was like, "Hey, that's the wrong sound." I was like, "Do you hear the difference between a v and a w?" And she's like, "No." And I was like, "But they are totally different sounds. Like a v and a w just don't sound the same at all." And she's like, "I can't." And she's like, "I can't hear the difference between those two sounds." And I was like, "Oh, because those two sounds don't like the what doesn't exist in German." And so I feel like it would be kind of a jerk move of me to be like, "You're pronouncing that word wrong," when, you know what I mean? Like if that word gets ported over into German, they're probably going to pronounce it the German way. And I feel like it'd be weird circling back to this topic. I think it'd be weird to be sort of to be judgy about it. Do you know what I mean? Like I think that would be just a little bit strange because that sound just doesn't exist in German. And I feel like it's weird to sort of insist that she use a sound when speaking, that when speaking in German that doesn't exist in German. If she were speaking in English, maybe we could, and she wanted it to improve her accent, then sure. But if she's speaking in German, does it really matter if she's pronouncing the W as you would pronounce it in German, even if it's an English word? Because at that point in time, I think it's functionally not an English word. And then it's just really basically a German word with an English, like, coat of paint on it. So, and look, I have a hard time with the oo and the u. I find that distinction really hard as well, and you just work on it. Luckily, I don't have to pronounce oo's in English for the most part. Let's see, Critmich, I'm just going to be over here. I have more things to say about manga and anime. DSB says, but there are shonen with girls as protagonists and shoujo with boys as protagonists, so now it's more based on plot. In manga, it's also often tied to artistic style. Yes. Even Initial D is old. Oh gosh, come on now. I was forced by a friend to binge watch the entirety of Marmalade Boy at one point. That was a long weekend. Oh, nice. Oh my god, I just remember Marmalade. Okay, there's some exciting chat going on about anime. Back in the day, anime was just anime. It was a genre in itself instead of having its own subgenres. That is true. Carlin says, before Sailor Moon, shoujo anime was very different. Even magical girls were very different, i.e. Cutie Honey is a very different show. Yeah. Well, Voltio, that was me hiding, but I do need to go take care of things. Oh, take care of... Oh, come back if you can, Crit Twitch. DSP says, so the peak of the shonen shoujo distinction in manga was probably between 1980 and 2000 because that was the peak of the shonen jump and the shoujo beat monthly magazines. But the term shifted over to anime as more manga series got adapted. Yeah, so I was used to the term shonen and shoujo being used in manga. That's where I was used to it. Like I was used to a lot of these terms in manga because mostly because these were being sold in magazines, right? And the magazines were specifically aimed at specific targets. So I was used to the terms. I mean, I was used to those terms. Yeah, I was used to the terms from manga. But in the 80s, I never really heard it being as Jer said, it was just anime was anime. I just wasn't. In the anime. I just wasn't used to hearing it in anime terms, but it makes sense to me. When you're like Sailor Moon versus Dragon Ball Z, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. Hey, Artie. All is going well. But the term shifted over to anime as more manga series got adapted. Oh, that's really interesting. At the end of it, Heidi said, it said, Auftrag das CDF. So then, right, this is a good question. Jared says, I generally describe anime by art style, which would also include a lot of Korean animation and even some American animations. Yeah, I think there, I will tell you, there's a lot of really interesting debates around that, which I'm not going to get involved in. Studio Ghibli productions are timeless, at least. Sailor Moon, this is DSB. Sailor Moon was in a lot of ways still not shoujo in the way that contemporary shoujo is. But I think it's also important to note that shoujo and shonen are aimed at teenagers. Yes, manga for adults is the term josei and seinen. And I will note, generally speaking, the manga that I have gravitated toward have been josei and seinen. Right, seinen. I tended not to do shonen or shoujo as much. And I'm looking at some of these or Geikiga, which is manga for adults but with focus on art and nurture, right? So I tended to go for the things aimed at more like once I got into my later teens, I tended to go for things aimed at. I tend to go seinen, josei, and gekiga rather than shonen or shouju. So those like so that kind of that thing was not. So I'm looking here and it says that josei manga would be, according to them, what are we looking at? There's some good examples here. They're mostly talking about magazines that have them in there. Yeah, mostly these here are looking at magazines as opposed to specific ones. Yeah, come on, give me actual names, my friends. History. Again, these are almost all magazines as opposed to specific. Let's see. Paradise Kiss, Bunny Drop, Chia Yafuru, Princess Jellyfish, Eden of the East. Oh. No, these are all related to anime. Josei as a category is generally less popular than shoujo, seinen, and shonen manga. In 2010, You was the top-selling josei manga magazine. Again, a magazine. Interesting. Yeah, these are all magazines. Interesting. Big Comics for Ladies. Be-Love. I don't know if I like that. No, I don't think that I don't like that if I go to josei manga on Wikipedia, I get names of magazines, whereas if I go to seinen manga, I get specific titles. Berserk, Akira, One Man Punch, Ghost in the Shell, Hellsing, Outlaw Star, Tokyo Ghoul, Trigun. These are listed as seinen manga. I don't think I like that disconnect. Yes, I don't think I like that disconnect. But it looks like some of the things I've been reading actually have been what you would call gekiga. I don't know if the flow of that is correct. Because a lot of there's some really good. Showa was a really good one that I was reading that would count as part of that. So yes, I tend to go for the more adult manga. Yes, that's what I will say. Let's see. I tend to agree with this. Avatar: The Last Airbender, for instance, is from the anime, says Valtiel. I will say, some people, Valtiel, will get really mad if you call Avatar anime, and they would say it is absolutely not anime, and they would actually get mad at you. They would say it's that they would call that appropriative to call Avatar anime. So I don't know what we do about that. I will just say, whoop 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 is the W sound. DSP. There's also the slice of life category of anime, which is usually kept separate from the gendered categories. I do quite like slice of life anime. I've watched a couple of slice of life anime actually. So she went from German to Russian. Someone needs a vampire now, though. Somebody does need one. Hello, Hescape. How are you? So, like Japan has the RL sort of situation, so does Korea actually. V comes from the top of my lip, touching my bottom teeth, where as my mouth is like an O when I make a W sound, but my tongue's in the same place for both. Yes, it's Voltail, but many people cannot hear. Like, I had a bunch of German friends who just could not hear the distinction, which for me was like wild because it's made completely differently in the mouth. Like a V and a W is super visible to me as different, but couldn't hear the difference. Yes, and the RL, like in Korean, there's a letter. And I will say this is actually very interesting. Korean does not have an R or an L. It has a different sound that is in between the two. And that sound is very hard for people who are English speakers to pronounce. Whereas it might be hard for a Korean speaker to pronounce the R and the L because those sounds are not in Korean. It's hard for English speakers pronounce that letter, that one sound in Korean, which is like an R and an L mixed. It's like I still have a hard time with it, but it's like you do both the R and the L with your mouth and then you say it. So it's like both. It's like it's in between an R and an L, and that is a hard sound. And so those things crossover both. DSB says, I think Meison Ikoku counts as shouju, predominantly because the mangaka, Rumiko Takahashi, is categorized as a shoujo mangaka. Oh, interesting. Krellin says, I watched a video by a German saying the difference between two German words. I think one of them was a word for mosquito, but I'm not 100% sure. And I literally could not hear the difference in her pronunciation of those words. And I think it was those sounds you just tried to make the ooh and the ooh. Yeah. I'm sure it was. Because there's a difference between Bruder and Brüder. Like, those are Bruder and Brüder are two different words. But, like, let me tell you, I'm sure I might be pronouncing it very well. But it's just hard to hear some of those differences if you don't even have the sound. On a geek! You just resubbed, and I want to say thank you. And I'm going to say thank you by singing. And I realize that I do have to get caught up in chat, but I have to sing now. So there's nothing I can do about that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sing. The name game. Come on, everybody. I say, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, more an M will appear. And then I say bo out of B, then I say the name, then banana, fana, and bo. Then I say the name again with an F, very plain. Then a fee, fi, and a mo. Then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. On a geek, bo, on a geek, banana, fana, for fun geek, fee, fi, mo, money geek. On a geek, the name game. Thank you for that resub, Onigeek. I am so excited. Look, I'm totally going to start playing again. I just have to, just gonna catch up a little bit on the chat. The German kids in my exchange program I was in, after a week in Germany, they were complimenting my accent and how fast I picked it up, and then made fun of the teacher for sticking to high German no matter what. I'm actually pretty good at picking up accents, and I think it's just because I was an actor, maybe? He sounds like a newscaster. Yeah. Artie says, I think NG was the first I watched, and then stuff like Ralph Zifon and Escaflowne before watching some of the more popular stuff like Naruto. I've got things. Key the Metal Idol. He missed so many streams, he's not playing. No, I'm totally playing today. My first animes as a kid were Higurashi and Elfen Lied, and then I found Witch Hunter and Robin, and that became the love of my life. Oh god, Paradise Kiss is on that list? I hate that Search of Vintage. That was on the list, yeah. If he doesn't play it, it won't be on me. No, I'm totally gonna play. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it. You don't even know. I'm almost caught up. Trooper, you are of the classic age. Adult mangas are any manga that is more than 18 years old. Yes. Evita, is that not the film with the blue people? Avatar. Getting caught up. Marvel and Disney make great manga and anime series. Yeah, my favorite age of anime is my favorite genre of anime is sad. Oh, I do like a good sad anime. I'm having a problem saying anime now. Like, I want you to know that I want you to know I blame myself, really. I want you to know that I am now swapping, but I've got I've got conflicting A's in my ear right now because Americans do that hard A, that but a lot of other languages don't do the they do the for the A. And I just need you to know that right now I'm having cross signals in my ears where I want to say both and I want to say anime, then I want to say anime, and then I want to say and then I just want you to know that it's happening all over the place. I'm having A problems, just so you know. It's also important to note the cultural distinction. Anime and manga. See, I'm saying manga, not manga, because it's manga, right? So now I want to say anime. Anime and manga were seen as very geeky masculine fandoms within Japan. Yep. But in the West, they were originally popular among girls, in large part due to Sailor Moon. So the marketing strategies are very different. I will note, DSB, that depends on the time frame. I am pre-Sailor Moon, so a bit different, right? Because my era is earlier. I'm just earlier than Sailor Moon. Just gonna note it. So it makes sense that Josei is just not very popular because it's for grown-up, not cool in the West women, not cool in Japan. Absolutely. But I want to go and read some more of that. I'm good, thanks. Distract myself from the cost of living crisis here in the UK by playing video games and watching Twitch. How am I? Hescape, I can answer that question, but I can't answer that question. There is so much going on, I can't even talk about it. But, you know, talk about it. And also, yeah, what are you playing currently? That you struggle with the soft D in Danish because it's mixed with the D and L sound. Oh, yeah, yeah. Right, that would probably also be true. Playing Resident Evil Village. Oh, I should check that out. Japan doesn't have a clear RL distinction. It is also between R and L, but different from the Korean or Chinese one. People who speak English get confused, but people who speak Chinese have a really hard time with it because there's only one RL sound in Mandarin, and it's very close to R. Oh, that's really interesting. See, I find these things super interesting, and I think that, you know, one has to give some compassion to folk that sometimes and the thing about, here's the thing, that if you did not grow up hearing that sound and practicing that sound, it's really hard to say it, because the reason why people who speak Cantonese can hear all those tonal distinctions is because they grew up hearing it and they practice it their whole lives. And if you just did not, it's going to be harder for you to do it. If you don't come from a tonal language, it's just going to be harder for you to hear those differences, and you know, vice versa. And some of it also has to do with things like, if you speak French, there are certain things that are hard to pronounce in English because you just don't do them. And sometimes even also it's rhythm. Like English has a particular rhythm, French has a different rhythm. How you like the rhythm of language is where you put the emphasis on your syllables. If your language just never does those things, it gets really hard to do it when you swap over because you're just not used to hearing it. Jer says, I'm from the time when the only place to watch anime was the early morning syndication. Yes, and the Sci-Fi Channel on Saturday morning. We didn't have the Sci-Fi Channel yet, but early morning syndication, absolutely. I won't mention where you used to get anime I watched from back in the day. You got it from a black market anime dealer in an alley in a big like overcoat, a big sort of big trench coat, Artie, and you'd like walk into the alley and the guy'd be like, "Psst, hey kid, come here," and you'd walk over, young Artie Snack, like Mini Snack, and be like, and Mini Snack's like, "Hey, what are you doing, mister?" And the guy's like, "You want some anime? I got some Robotech for you. Or would you like some Captain Harlock? Or would you like some G-Force?" And Mini Snack is like, "Gee, mister, I'll have some G-Force, Battle for the Planets." And then he's like, "Here you go, kid." I don't know why this is happening like this, but this is how it's happening. And he's like, 2 bits. And then you give him like 2 quarters. And you're like, Mini Snack's like, "Thanks, mister." And you run all the way home with your... Look, don't ask me what's going on in my mind. Do not ask me. Hescape doesn't like horror films but enjoys horror games. Lindy hates horror films but likes playing in horror RPGs. And the mysterious face. Oh man, I had some mysterious VHS tapes that were anime when I was a real young kid that were like, because I had a friend of mine who was from Japan. She was Japanese, and her parent, like I think she was born in the U.S. She might not have been. I think she was born in the U.S. But her parents were like, their parents had immigrated, and so she would get VHS tapes from Japan, and she would show them to me. They were not translated. They did not have subtitles. So she would translate for me, and we would watch what we call Drymo, who's the blue cat with no ears, which I think is in English now pronounced some other kind of way. How do we pronounce it in English? Japanese blue cat with no ears. Doraemon. Doraemon is how it's called here, but she always pronounced it Doraemon. That's how she pronounced it. Doraemon, Doraemon, and Doraemon. It's a slightly different pronunciation than Doraemon. Anyway, I used to watch that. I used to watch the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers before it came to the United States. Also, I had no idea what was going on, and I can't remember what she called it. Anyway, so I had some weird things in there. Yes, Hescape, mostly RPGs, all types of ARPGs and CRPGs, and strategy games. Although lately I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky. I totally get that. As a trilingual person, I often remember the word I forgot only in the language of the person I speak to will understand. Oh yeah. First hit's free. I speak Trooper. You remind me of the dude from Sesame Street. Black market seems oddly accurate. No, it's true. 2 quarters. I'm not that old, Trooper. I get them from sketchy internet sites. Okay. Yeah, Doraemon is a cat. Yes, indeed. Doraemon is a cat, which you may not know, but is true. I'm going to kill these creatures now. Go. Oh, hi. Hi, how you doing? Let me move. Let's move. Let's move to a different weapon. Let's move to this one. Oh, it's dead. That's cool. Oh, they're all dead. That's cool too. Neat. I did I kill that guy in one hit? That seems pretty unlikely. One of the whole reasons why I wasn't playing was because I thought that combat was going to go super, super long, but then it didn't. Well, I should have known. Like, the whole reason why I was stalling was because I knew we had a combat, and I knew that was going to take up all that time, and I wanted to get myself caught up in chat, but that didn't take up any time at all. Huh. Well, so, and now I can go back to chat and not feel guilty about it. Which, awesome. Also, what is happening down here? Hey, was this what's-his-face's lab? What was he... Oh, this guy... Look, this guy was sampling the product and got obsessed. Doraemon. That's what, yeah. Let's see. Doraemon, okay, I think that was happening. What she was saying, what she actually was saying was Doraemon, but you weren't parsing the vowels. Japanese vowels are very hard to parse because Japanese speakers speak very fast. That's probably what it was. And also, I was like 8. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like 8 years old at the time. So she probably was pronouncing it's like a Doraemon. Yeah, but I was 8. I have family who are French, and they struggle to hear the distinction between the words bowl and ball. The distinction between those sounds is not present in French. Yeah, there are just a bunch of things, and if you've never heard the distinction, if that distinction does not, if you grow up your entire life and there is no distinction between those sounds, it becomes very hard to hear them. That was Heskate. DSP says, and the final N is more of a nasal glottal stop than an actual N sound, yeah. Rolla says, yeah, you should check the Bulgarian treasure planet from 1982. It's super weird. Ooh, that sounds fun. The one Ernie was biting letters from. Oh. I did switch weapons. That's true. And then there are the people that think that it is funny to say seal in French when you're really young and think it's very edgy. Why? 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 I feel like there's something about the word seal in French that means something that's dirty, but I don't know what it is. Somebody should explain it to me. Jasper Lowe's research notes. Initial research into primal neurochemistry has proven fruitful. I've discovered a cardiac cell receptor for adrenaline, analogous to human cell receptors in function, if not in physiology. It should be possible to develop a pharmaceutical drug that blocks the effect of the adrenaline hormone in primals, thus curtailing their paranoia, agitation, and violent irritability. Correction. It is possible, just unlikely given the way the OCI has me under thumbscrews. Adrenatime is a dangerous drug. The danger can be mitigated by developing an adrenaline inhibitor. Take adrenatime, then take this theoretical drug to minimize its side effects. I barely have the time, energy, or resources to develop a half-passable adrenatime, so this idea must remain a dream. Nonetheless, my notes follow. Hope springs eternal. Jasper was trying. I mean, he was trying, it seems, to make a drug that would make everybody be very productive workers without making them into psychopaths. That did not seem to work well. Yes. Well, that looks sort of bad. All of this looks bad, y'all. Also, I wish we could get there, but I don't think we can. Can we get there? No. That's okay. I would like to get there, but I don't think we can. But we might be able to get there some other way. Come on, let me get into the places I'm not allowed to be. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't even worry about it. I'm not even worried about it right now. We are gonna just we're making our way out. We're making our way out, and we're gonna go. There's one last thing in this area. Our mission's done here, but there's one last thing in this area. We're gonna clear it out and then leave, and we'll be fine. Also, we might play it at 3:45, and I think you know why. I think you know why we might play it at 3:45. You know why. We want to go this way. This is the one last way we haven't gone yet. What is that? Okay. We're going here. I wanted to talk about, hold wanted to talk about some stuff. And once I start walking, I can do it. Once I start walking, I can do it. Okay, good. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know that. I think this is mostly my dyslexia, but I cannot figure out French words because the letters do not match how the words sound. So I was lucky I could pick Danish up as my second foreign language. French pronunciation is easy. Sound whatever prettiest is correct. I only know how to say the names of French philosophers as my teachers say them. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, so, okay. Also, you may not know things. So I was talking to, when I lived in Germany, you know, I spoke in German most of the time. Once I got my German friends to speak German to me and not German to me, which was very frustrating. But, you know, I would speak German most of the time, and you do your thing. And here, let's shoot this person. I don't know. Wow. Shotgun. Oh, hi. Hey, everybody use your powers. Everybody use your powers. Things are going bad right now. Things are going very bad. Use your powers, everybody. Just go. Primals everywhere, using your powers. Shoot all the things. Where are you? Where are you? Hi. Let's do that. And I'm gonna just shoot you a lot. Okay. Let's do this. Let's heal ourselves, shall we? Because right now we're in a kind of like a space where we're dying, and I don't like it. There's a lot of toxicity. There's a lot of toxicity in this space right now, and I feel like we should. Oh wow! Don't die. No, here, do it again. Like just go. Heal myself up. Ooh, don't die. Oh hey everybody. Okay, that was don't die. Hey, I'm feeling a little bit weird right now. I just want you to know it that I'm feeling a little attacked, and I'm feeling like this place was toxic, and didn't appreciate that. So, but we didn't die. Bonus right there. Death did not happen. We're gonna go about this moving, I think, to the left, probably. Let's do that. Okay. That was how one of my French teachers in college learned maybe French pronunciation rules clicked me. So silly, but it's a more consistent rule than English rules, at least. Oh, English does not have consistent rules at all. Like English does not have consistent pronunciation rules at all. What was that joke? Do you know that joke? What does? Oh, how do you spell it? T-I-O. No. G-H-O-T-I. How do you pronounce G-H-O-T-I? This is like a one. It's not really a joke because it's not funny. If you know what I mean, it's not a joke, but it's a thing that people say to illustrate how English is ridiculous. So, G-H-O-T-I. How would you pronounce that? This is, by the way, it's ridiculous, and I'm sure there are gonna be people here in my chat who'll be like, "That's ridiculous," and I do not approve. And like, fair enough. I'm not endorsing this. I'm just letting you know this thing. Yes, fish. There you go. Trooper is calling out the toxic primalism in the game, and I commend that. Thank you. Apparently, Stephen in French is very different than in English. So when she would call me, I would have no. Oh yeah, Etienne. I know that being yes, I found that out when I lived in Germany. Etienne. Also, there's a really good song by Gush Pati called Etienne, which is apparently a bunch of metaphors for sex. It is a very good song. Oh, it's very good. If you it's like 80s, so it's kind of like a French new wave song, and it's Etienne, and it's by Gush Pati, and I would recommend you looking it up if you would like some really good. Let's reload. Why don't we do that? And then shoot. I don't think this, okay, great, cool, everybody, feeling great about it. Have a nice time. Uh, great. We'll just take all, hey, you know what? We're doing a good job. Oh, I still have things I wanted to tell you all. Oh, ooh, awkward. Sorry about that person who died. I sorry about the cave-in. Like, that's bad. Um, no toxicity. This is a safe space, says Volus. Yeah. Heskip says French is also a very formal language. It is very important to use the correct form of you, vous or tu. This can be difficult to remember when in English you just use you when speaking to anyone. Yes. Also, goti, G-H-O-T-I, fish, right? Because the G-H can be pronounced as an F, as in rough, R-O-U-G-H. O can be pronounced as an I, as in I. Sometimes the O has an is. And what is the word that uses the? I can't remember. There was a word where the O ends up being pronounced like an I, and T-I is pronounced like a sh in like information, like T-I-O-N. I can't remember what the O was, where the O came from. Artie's like, English is messed up in many ways. It is. My mom taught English in Italy, and they couldn't understand why daughter and slaughter rhymed, but laughter didn't. Absolutely, yeah. We just, it's a, yeah, yeah. This is, yeah. These are, also there was clearly some kind of fight here. This is ridiculous, and I do not approve. It's fine. This is like the Q Bureau for food, amusing, but more of a joke than an actual critique. Yeah. In high school in Denmark, I picked up German and not French. Yeah. I think it is especially funny to me since I'm asexual, which is apparently a song about sex under my name in French. Oh, yeah. Women, thank you. The O in women sounds like an I. Thank you, Hescape. Yes. So this is, yeah, this is, that is one of those things. So what I wanted to say was the very first Japanese aimed at younger people media that I watched as a kid would have been Doraemon and the Power Rangers, except that, oh, hey, I don't think we've been to this place. So this is interesting. We've not been here. So we're going to explore this place. I know we've got to get to this second building, but here's a place we haven't explored. So we're going to explore it. I think we should start to the left. Let's explore leftwards and see what we can find. And by what we can find, I mean loot. That is what I mean. Right, so that was like the first stuff, but I was really young. I was probably like 7 or 8 years old at the time, and this was not translated, and it was in, what we'll do is we'll go around and do the entire the bottom part, and see if there's anything to get to the ground floor, and then we'll hit the stairs to be, oh, an elevator. Interesting. To be thorough about it. So that was the first stuff, but I don't know if I would really count it. The reason why similarly spelled words often don't rhyme is because a bunch of idiot scholars in the 18th century decided to simplify English spelling. Yeah. Also, some words have kept spelling differences based on different origins. Yeah, it's true. Also, I think another thing I would just note is that there were vowel shifts. Like, we had some great vowel shifts in English over time. So there are things that used to rhyme, but no longer rhyme. Do you know what I mean? Like that was like and you can see in Shakespeare, there are certain things that were clearly meant to rhyme because they're sort of placed in rhyming spaces, but in the way that we speak, we pronounce things in modern English, they don't rhyme anymore, but they clearly had done. So, some things did rhyme and some things were pronounced very differently. Like the GH in English, we actually did used to, because English is a Germanic language at its base, with some other, and then Germanic and then invaded. There were things that we pronounced differently, like we pronounce night, K-N-I-G-H-T, night, but in German the word night is Knecht, and we actually did pronounce night closer to Knecht back in the day, And our GHs used to be a little bit more than they are now. Looks like there was a fight here, huh? Looks like there was a fight. I was not here for this fight. And, I'm okay with that. Ice Bunny, were you around in Germany when they tried to do the? Yes, no. When I was in Germany, they hadn't done the Rechtschreibungsreform yet, but I think they did it right after I left, and I was like, I'm not giving up my SZ. Why would I do that? I like my SZ, and there was a time people were like, you have to like get rid of the SZ. I was like, nope, I'm keeping it. So I just didn't. Also, I wasn't living in Germany, so it didn't really matter that I wasn't keeping it. That, you know, but did they give up on it? Did they give up the Rechtschreibungsreform? I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I was like, why? It just feels like, what are you doing? DSP, that's like when people tried to transliterate Chinese and then fix the transliteration. So Peking became Beijing, yeah. And Chinese people pronounce them the same because they are the same word, but Americans get confused that Peking duck and Beijing duck are the same food. Yeah. It's actually interesting because Monkey Island taught me that if you run into singing ramen pirates, just end a sentence with orange to make them stop singing. Nice. Hey, Atomica. Knift. Yeah, that's right. Door hinge rhymes with orange. It isn't unrhymable. There was also so what I think is interesting for me is that so I lived in Korea in 1991, 1992, right? I lived in Korea. It was cool. And recently, Random Tuesday, and by recent I mean probably like 5 years ago or 2-3 years ago, some years ago actually, Random Tuesday and Sour Fruit Junkie went to Korea, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. You know, where'd you go? And they came back and they told me about the places they were going, and I was like, I did not recognize those places. And I was like, where? What place? And it turns out that Korean has gone through a transliteration change in the same way that Chinese has, right? So when I lived in Korea, the place down south that was like the very cool vacation spot that was like kind of fancy was Busan, but is now Busan with a B rather than a P. So the PB shift has happened. A number of T's have now become D's. So the town right outside of so like I was in a space called Camp Hovey, and Camp Hovey was next to a place called Camp Casey, and Camp Casey was huge. And there was a town outside of Camp Hovey, but nobody knows it. But the town outside of Camp Casey was Tongducheon. But it is no longer spelled with a T, it's now spelled with a D. So basically there's been a transliteration change in Korean from the time that I lived in Korea till now. And nobody told me. I didn't even know. And I don't know actually when it happened. I don't know when that change happened. It happened sometime in between 1992, probably 94, and now. And I don't know when in the last 30 years it happened, but I didn't know. Which is weird. It's weird to like turn around and to have that shift happen, but like not having, like nobody told me. If I would have known, if I'd read, I didn't even read an article about it. I didn't read anywhere. They're like, oh, we're going through a transliteration change. Like, oh, cool. Then I would have known. It just surprised me. That's all. Oh man, stuff like that weirds me out. Like how Japan is actually Nihon because of imperialism. Oh, absolutely. Did you know that I think that Americans are a little bit better than British when it comes to this. That we are a little bit less bad. Not that we're great, but I think we're a little bit less bad at it. Japan also has the complication that ho and po are the same character. So in some contexts, like in compound word phrases, they do use po as Nippon, but Nihon is the correct transliteration if as a standalone word. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. No, I was always getting 5s and 6s grades in spelling. And when they put the reform into action, my spelling didn't change, but I got 3s in grades because they made the rules more logical, but Germans would not be Germans if they would not holler before they let it happen. It's interesting. Even in Germany, I see it. Wien being Vienna, Frankreich for France. Yeah, stuff like that. Absolutely. But here's the thing. We could say it was about making it simpler, or we could say it's about Americanization. If you want to be like anti-American, you could say it's about Americanization. Why get rid of the S set and change it to 2 S's? Why get rid of a character that is native to the German language to get rid of it? So what? So that you could be more you could conform more to the English language, right? So you could call it American cultural, like, and that was the people that I knew who were not okay with that language shift, that spelling shift, didn't like it because they thought it was about American cultural imperialism. Um, Now you could argue that it was about trying to make it simpler, but again, I will just note that there are ways to complain about it. Top brass figured that soldiers needed to know that mess hall has pizza rather than linguistal changes on the region where the campus. But the thing is, it didn't happen when I was living there. When I was in the military, it was still the old, like, that change happened sometime after I left the military, but I don't know when. I can look it up, but I did not know when it happened. I will note that was interesting. So now here's something that actually is also really interesting. Where's my cursor? Oh, there's no cursor there. That's not plugged in. I need my cursor here. So here's something that's really interesting. And it has to do with, I'm going to read this, by the way. It has to do with sometimes those language differences are not about imperialism or colonialism. Sometimes those language differences are about other things. So for example, this is really cool. So I lived in Bavaria, right? And the word for Germany in Italian is Alemania. I was like, I did not care. I got better grades. Considering I never got proper help for dyslexia. Yeah, the problem was, yeah. So the word for Germany in Italy is Alemania. In English, it's Germany. In German, it's Deutschland. In France, it is, I think it's Allemand in France. In what is the word for Germany in Denmark or the Netherlands? Up there. What is the word for Germany in the places north of Germany? What is it? What is it? Somebody tell me. We have got people in this chat who know. Germany in Finnish is Saksa. Oh, interesting. In Danish it's Tisland, Tiske. Okay, so the reason why these words for Germany are different. Germany is Deutschland. Oh, interesting. Okay. In Sweden, Germany is Tyskland. Okay, so here's the thing. The reason why we have different names for Germany is not because colonialism or imperialism or anything like that. It's because, A, Germany was never a country. It was a lot of different... It was because the name for Germany in the different places is dependent upon which of the Germanic tribes those people were in contact with. So in southern Germany, where I lived, the main groups, the main Germanic tribes from southern Germany were the Alemannen and the Bajuwaren. And so if you were Italian, the group of people that you were interacting with were the Alemannen. And so you would call that land Alemania, right? And the same thing with France. They were interacting with the Alemannen. The English speakers interacted with the Germanen, which was a different one of these different tribes. The Teutonen were a different Germanic tribe. So what Germany is called depends on which of the different tribes that you were interacting with for the most part. Isn't that interesting? So it wasn't about colonialism or imperialism, but like just which group of people you were interacting with, because they were not all the same people. There's really no such thing as German. Like they're Alemannen, they're Teutonen, they're like, all that's a social construct. Anyway, the point is that sort of like Germany is a construct made later in the 19th century to sort of blah, 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 blah. But point is, what the language of what you call that country is depending on which of the groups of people you're talking to, which I thought was super interesting. Aleman is men of beer. That's interesting. I wonder how many tribes there were. Lots, actually, because there were so many different. Like Germany just wasn't a country until the 1870s, right? It was like 1871, 72. Before you just had a lot of different countries. It was you might call them the Germanic lands if you wanted to, the German-speaking lands if you wanted, but of course, even that's complicated because people spoke Germanic. I mean, there have been debates about whether or not all those different dialects are the same language at all. Bavarians would say no, right? Some of those dialects are not mutually intelligible, but when Bismarck invaded all those different Germanic lands and unified them into one country under him, and they had the big discussion about like what would be, we're going to make a new country, we're going to call it Germany, what are the places going to be part of Germany? And they're like, we should go by all the people who speak German, and that's a unified land. If you speak German, you're the same people racially, blah, 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 blah. And Bismarck's like, yes, but not Austria. because Austria had power. Austria had a lot of power, and there were all those sort of German-speaking lands in what would be the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And Bismarck wanted to rule everything. He wanted to be in charge. And so, conveniently, Austria was not included into Germany, because if Austria were included in Germany, then there would be a rival to his power. So, right, like Germany just doesn't exist, or it didn't exist. It was somebody. Same thing with Italy. Actually, Italy's the exact same way. Italy also didn't exist until somebody invaded a bunch of these other countries that were their own countries with their own languages, and just decided that they were all going to be one country, right? So that's a complicated situation. Yeah. All those German princes. Yeah, all that is a social contract can be the explanation for so many things. Yes, yes, it is. And I will note, just because something's a social construct doesn't mean it's not real. People always think like, oh, if it's a social contract, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean it doesn't have a real impact in your life. It just means that what we understand that thing to be changes over time and place. That's all. History of Europe equals war happened. Yes. The Holsteinische uprising with the war in 1864 making my hometown German. Yeah, like, and there's so many debates like, oh gosh. I mean, so much of European history is wars over. You know what's really interesting? Side note. By the way, I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to tell you this really. No, if I don't tell you this interesting thing, I'm going to forget it. No, I'm going to tell you the interesting. I'm going to give you the category for the interesting thing. Then I'll read this, and then you'll have to remind me. I want to say something about. Did I just forget it already? Germany. Making hometowns German. You just dropped a link to an explanation of Nippon versus Nihon in the link. Oh, yes. Thank you for doing that, DSP, because I'm really excited to read that. Did I just forget this interesting thing I was going to tell you? It was about Germany, German language, Alsace-Lorraine, social constructs, money, history of Europe. Yes, I remember now. Sorry. History of Europe equals war happened reminded me. Do not let me forget to talk about the East versus the West. The Orient versus the Occident. That's what I want to talk about. Orient versus Occident, East versus West. Okay? Do not let me forget. I need to say something about that. Social constructs, right? Don't let me forget, but I want to read this. I want to read this first so that, we don't forget it. To Kim Lab. From Spacer's Choice Automated Response. Dear Sir and or Madam, this is an automated message triggered by the Spacer's Choice Contingency Management Program. Please do not respond to this message. Congratulations! Contingency number 77-1, abundance of raw material, is now in effect. Due to a higher than projected volume of compound X harvested in this laboratory, your production quotas have been raised by 200%. We've read this. Please bear in mind that bi-weekly quota reviews are automatically generated and forwarded to Project Gorgon Administration and the Office of Creative Incubation. Any dereliction in production will be reflected in review. We have read this. So, we have been here. Which means we don't have to be here anymore. We have been here. Interesting. Well, okay. So, this, well, I think we need to leave out this way. So I think we need to maybe go back the way we came or go around in some interesting way, because we'll go this way. It'll be fine. We have been here. It turns out we have been here. Also, this that I'm using right now is a long gun, and the shotguns are pretty awesome. So I feel like what we should do, side note, is I feel like we should I need more money. I feel like what we should do, from me to you, is not go this way. Yeah, we're going to go back out the way we came because I feel like that'll get us closer to our exit. I feel like going back around will be faster in the long run than doing the double back that we're doing right now, is my thought. So we're going to do that. and then life will be grand. So when I said there was a fight here and I wish I had been here, but it turns out I had been here. I just didn't realize we walked around that we walked around. So we need to get down this way because I think we have to go out this other way. Is what we have to do. So just knowing it. Yes. Okay. Yes. Good. Yes. Okay. Trooper Orient versus Oxidant social constructs. Thank you. Was it an Occident waiting to happen? Wah, wah. Yeah. Google and Illustrator Wiedenskab gave the explanation to why Denmark's called Germany for Tyskland as follows. For example, both Germany and Deutschland mean nation. Tysk is the Danish version of an old common Germanic word meaning people, but Deutsch is the German. The status of the individual countries also has great significance for the name as they're given to different parts of the world. And you're more the core capitals. The original text is in Danish and it threw into, yeah. So the thing about that is that many people, the word for, how do I put this? Many people use the, many people call themselves, the word they use to name themselves is people. Right? So way back in the day, what people tended to, if you said, what is your name? What is the name of your group of people? They would say the name of our group of people is people, but they would say it in their language. So people would often just call themselves people or nation. And then we then give them that name. We feel like that is the name. This is a weird way to put this, right? Like, I don't know if I'm explaining this right. Okay. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to hope that what I say will make sense. I hope that what I say will make sense. Hey, what is your name? Oh, my name is Mensch. People are like, oh, Trooper's first name is Mensch. But what they don't realize is that I come from a...
Let's get out of here. This place stinks like machine grease and bad science.
Yeah, let's do it. But what they don't realize is that what I said was that my name was Person. And in my culture, we are people. But you don't realize that the word that I gave, Mensch, was person. So you thought that that was my first name. And we do this all the time, especially with like indigenous people. We're like, oh, what is your name? And they're like, oh, what is the name of your people? Like, our nationality is French. So what is the name of your people? And they're like, oh, the name of our people is people or humans. But since we don't realize that what they're actually saying is the word for human, we just say, oh, the name for their group of people is XYZ, right? Because sometimes people, there are naming conventions that don't always translate, is what I'm trying to tell you. That is what I'm trying to tell you. So we are here. Great. I think there's a vending machine right here that we can use to sell our junk. Which, by the way, I'm going to do. And I'm still under... I just need you to know that I am under encumbrance. I need you to know that. I need you to know that I'm under encumbrance. Please know this, and please give me appreciations. Also, I'm going to sell anything under level 30 and below. But those things are special. So those I won't sell because they got the little special things on them. But other than that, I will sell all the things that are 30 and below. Because, oh, okay. Yeah, 30 and below, I will sell. If it is level 30 or below, it goes away. And I'm selling it. Just this is what's happening right now. I feels so... I hope you are proud of me as I... Huh. This has got like a little thing on it, a little bolt. Why does it have a bolt on it? What do you think that means? What do you think the bolt means? Because it's a bolt, which means there might be something special about it. What if I shouldn't sell it because it has a bolt on it, and bolts mean something special? What if that's true? I'm just saying that it could be true, that the bolt could mean something. So, oops, wrong button. There we go. I just wanted you to know that I was. Just selling all this gear. I don't. Can't just. Just. I hope you're proud of me. Why have I not sold this before? Okay. That's a Spacer's Choice thing. That's a fancy hat. I don't think I need this many of these fancy hats. There, look, I've sold all the things. That's a Spacer's Choice thing, so I have to keep that as well. I'm going to save. After all that really sort of traumatic selling, rather than hoarding. But I did it. I didn't get rid of everything because I want to go and, like, you know, when I get to my ship, test to make sure I've got, like, good, that all my people have the best possible stuff on them. So, and now, officially, we are going to go to the next active quest, which should be reach human inquiry and auditing. Okay. Find the clue at synthesis and manufacturing. Retrieve the phonograph in HIA observation room B. Yeah, so I think this one perhaps we can do is a side quest. And I feel like we might be able to just, we might be able to hit this place, clear that out before we go up here, which seems to be where the other place we need to go. So let's, where's the best place to port over? Let's just try here. And then I'm going to see what chat has to say. What is this hill called? Hill. Yeah. My town is one of many ways to say Creek Town. Yes. Guess why it's here? Servicing this massive lumber industry responsible for its founding and floating logs down towards many sawmills on the way to Pittsburgh. Absolutely. I think that is how Canada was called Canada. Yes, actually, I think so too. This happens actually quite a lot. The rest of the world, people of a nation, Australia, great-great-granddad, something, inmate, well-known, yeah. What? Who are you and what have you done with Trooper? The real Trooper doesn't know the meaning of the word underencumbered. I've been doing really well so far here. I think it said it was an improvised weapon. Maybe that's why. Maybe, I don't know. DSB says, I think Trooper does know the meaning of the word. I just don't buy that he thinks it's a valuable concept. I think he thinks underencumbrance only exists as a term in opposition to overencumbrance, which is still a valuable term. I think Trooper treats encumbrance like the speed limit. You should be at that level a little more. Now, underencumbrance is like perfection. A meaningless word that doesn't actually exist is detrimental to pursue. I will note that when I went bikepacking, I might have been a little overencumbered. But that's because I followed the advice to take 18,000 gallons worth of water, which I think I will do less next time. I took a lot of water. I think I technically took less water than they recommended, but I still took a lot of water. But I really think a lot of that advice on how much water to take is built off of people who are camping while driving. You know what I mean? Like they're driving. So I need to figure out where we're headed. Oh, okay. We need to go up there. So let's see if maybe we can get. I don't know if we can actually get there from here, but let's try. I don't know if this is possible. That looks bad, but let's Ooh, look at that big skeleton. That's cool. That's super cool. I have not seen that big skeleton before. I would like to climb on this and walk up this post without dying. And I'm almost. We're gonna do it. We're gonna just walk up this. We're gonna walk up this way. That's what we're gonna do. I've decided, and we're not gonna die. We saved, right? We saved. We saved. Yeah. Okay. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do risky and dangerous behavior. This is dying. Oh, hey, we fell but didn't die. That was awesome. Oops. We didn't die. We didn't die though. There's a reason why I have a diving off of a cliff emote. There is a reason for that. So I need to get here. The best way to get here probably would be from crossing this bridge, perhaps, which means we need to start here. It bothers me how circuitous we have to go. A lot of water on top of all other things. Yeah, I think most recommended water is based off of people who have never been in the military and therefore don't have conserved resources. Maybe, yeah, that's probably true. And I think they also assume you're going to use the water for everything. As Arya says, all the time we sadly live in a world where a car is considered a default. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate those. Okay, so let me tell you about the Occident versus the Orient and social construction. So, the circuitous route is a metaphor for chat. Yes. Yes, that's true. Also, you know what? I have to eat food, so I might as well eat food that will help me recover. Natural health regeneration. So let's just eat this. These woolly curds. And we'll just eat that, and then hopefully we will not die as much. We won't, I mean, hopefully we won't even run into bad guys. So we're going to walk this way. It seems like a long way around, and I really feel like I could have walked up that pipe, but you know what? I'm letting it go. That emote just makes me think of Parker. Oh, I love Parker from Leverage. Already snack, but you know I love Leverage. You know I love Leverage. Before cart was horse, before horse it was a mammoth, before the mammoth was brontosaurus. Same old, same old. So, I bet we're going to run into monsters. Here we go. Well, you know, I really wanted to avoid this, but I am not going to be able to, so I'm going to just do this. And then I'm going to switch weapons. Hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. And by doing well, I mean I hope you don't mind that I'm going to kill you. Hey, hey, don't attack my friend. What are you doing? Why are you attacking my friend? Also, why is Nyoka down? Somebody use your powers. Come on now. What's happening? Are my friends being killed? Here you go. Let's just have that. Also, are you all just very excited about melee all the time? What's up with that? Like, you don't need to be that melee heavy. Also, I'm sorry about you all dying almost. I think she was fine. I think she's got like a... It's all right. Oh, you're currently rewatching... You know, I knew there was a reboot of Leverage that I never got to watch. And I feel a little bad that I never did because I really like Leverage and maybe I can find it. I don't know where that thing can be found, but maybe I can find it. And if I did find it... here's my concern. My concern is that if I walk over this way, I'm not going to be able to get here. This is, but you know what though? We're gonna do our best. We're gonna just do our best. Leverage Redemption was great. Really, was it? I should watch it because I really liked that cast a lot. I thought they were very good. You know, yes. Leverage Redemption on Prime streaming. Oh, is it? Oh, nice. And they're filming a second season. Oh, well, this is all good things to hear. Life, that's good. All right, so, as you know, one of my research interests is the band, the Comedian Harmonists, who were, this is a German band from the 1930s, half of whom were Jewish, who sang jazz vocal music, right? And this was this band that is one of my research interests. I did a lot of research on them. I've written articles on them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Blah, blah, blah. Part of the process of doing all this research has been, let's do this, that. Let me then swap weapons to this one. And then let's do a bit of this. Ooh, hi. And then let's, oh, hi, how you doing? Let me do this. Woo! Oh, I'm not doing well. I should do that, and then maybe do this. Hello. I probably shouldn't use my special superpowers just to shoot people from a distance, but cool. Hello, rocks. How you doing? Oh, ouch. I feel like people should use their special powers. So, part of what I've done... hi. I know I'm hurt. I do realize that. Okay. So, part of what I did, right, is doing a lot of chronolethargy. No, I'm not going to accept that. Why would I accept that? That seems like a really bad idea. I don't need that. They need... You know what? I'm going to tell you something. They need to do a better job of incentivizing us taking these negative perks. I took one, but there's not a lot of incentives to take negative perks, so they should work on that, would be my thought. They should work on that. All right, map. Okay, we need to cross this bridge, which is where? Probably around here. There is a leverage RPG. I think it uses Cortex, perhaps? I think. Okay, I need to maybe go around this way. What is the not part of the song? I love that song. Well, they did all sorts of things. So here's the thing, right? I was reading a collection of interviews with them, to get back to the Orient versus Occident. I was reading a collection of interviews with them. And the collection of interviews... So please note, we're going to go here. We're going to go up. This is we maybe need to go this way, right? That way right there, but I don't know if that is the way it'll take us there or if going across this bridge will take us there. So we're going to go across the bridge first. Once we cross the bridge, if we do not get there, we'll come back here and go through that thing. Don't let me forget. So, here's what happens. Yeah, it's Cortex. Thank you. Thank you. I thought it was Cortex. So, I was reading all these interviews with them. Hi, guy. How are you? You, if I remember correctly, were kind of in a weird space. Oh, all that is stealing. We're not going to steal you. We're not going to steal from you. Because we know that you're kind of in a space. How are you? Cool. How's your moon problem going along?
He'll get his. He comes after my job? Oh, he'll get what he deserves. At any rate, how can I help Spacer's Choice help you? Target demographic?
You know what? I'm going to go. I'm just going to go. We're going to leave. Okay, so reading all these interviews with them. So now please remember, so these people were from, they had their height of their career like in like 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. This is like their height of their career. If you would like more game volume, I can turn that up. No problem. Loop capture. Whoop. Boom. So, let me finish this thought. Because I'm going to finish this thought about the Occident versus Orient. So, reading the interviews with them, there were a lot of things that thought were really interesting. One of the things I thought was interesting, which is not the thing I want to share with you, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. It's not the Occident versus Orient thing. But so all of the members of the band were born like 1900, 1901, like around then, except for one member of the group, Erich Colin Abraham. Erich Colin, he was born Eric Collins. He was born in 1899. And in these interviews, they're like, oh, well, you know, we were all born in 1900, which means we're part of the new century, which means we are modern. But Eric was born like, I was born in 1900, so I'm very, very modern. But like, Eric, who's born in 1899, that means he was from the old century, and you could just totally tell he was from the old century. And if you read interviews from people around between like 1920, 1930, around then, especially in the mid 20s, they really, 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 and I'm back to that pipe that killed me. All right, we are going to go this way. This is going to get us there, I hope. I hope. I don't know if it will, but let's see. And so, like, there was like a really very strong belief that, like, where you were born, if you're born before 1900 or after 1900, really made a huge difference in everything about you. That was like a thing that they really thought. Yeah, and yes, he was only 1 year older, but and it was not just them, a lot of people really, really felt like that made all the difference. Either you're from the old century or from the new century, and that was like, I am moving farther and farther away from where I want to be. Okay, well, let's just keep going, and let's see if we can get where we want to go. Yeah, only 1 year, but it made a difference to them. Like, they really felt it made a difference. And these are not the only people that I heard talking this way. It was quite the fashion to, if you were like a hip, like you were a hip person. Let's see what we can do here. This is not, well, y'all, this is where I want to be. If we go here, I'm pretty sure we do not end up where we want to be because we're on a lower level. Here, we're not going to be able to get across. So I want to get here. This, I do not think will get us there either. I think that's where we went last time. Let me turn back around because this is the way we came. We're going to come back around, and there was that weird walkway we went through. We'll see if that will take us there. Why does the caveman hit two stones together to play rock music? Okay, so the thing is, I don't know if that bridge to the north will get me there. This one here, because it brings us down to this layer, and this here is on an upper layer. Let's try it. Let's try it, because maybe it'll get us there. Yeah, I know that the closest place you can fast travel is here, and that will not get you there. Because you cannot get from there to... That's where I traveled last time and tried to get on that pipe and died. So, hitbox. Hitbox. We'll try it. If you're going to reject an era, das Kaiserreich, you should do so semi-seriously as well as seriously. Yes. Was the older one the one who put the naughty in the songs? Der Cactus fiel runter only because they had some adult... Well, the whole... They're part of the cabaret scene. The whole cabaret scene is naughty. Like, that's just part of... If you were running around in the 20s, that's what you did. The 20s was a naughty time. People were into that sort of a thing. That's what it was about. No. We want to go probably. Oop, nope. Okay. We're gonna try going around this way, which I think was that way that I wanted to go originally, maybe? Yes. Remember when I said, if we don't go that way, let's go this way? Oh, hello. So let's do that. I feel like perhaps this might be the way to go. Oh, hey, guess what? There are creatures that might want to kill me right now that I wasn't even paying attention to. So let's worry about that, shall we? Oh. Ooh. Oh, hi. Everybody use your powers. How's everybody doing? Are you all okay? Sorry about that. I hope everybody's all right. Excuse me. Ooh. Also, I feel a little sluggish right now. I have some kind of negative thing going on. And it's gone. I don't know what that was. It must have been like, had a broken leg or something. I don't know what that was. But that was not the thing I wanted to tell you about. What I wanted to tell you about was the Occident and the Orient situation and social construction. Yeah, a lot of German music teachers do not realize the naughty conjunctive that I learned in elementary school. Well, I mean, they're not going to tell you naughty things about. I mean, schools are not going to tell you about the naughty things that are happening. They're just not going to do that when you're in elementary school. You know. So anyway, there was an interview. So the 6 members of the band. I'm going to get to the Occident Orient. So the 6 members of the band. I feel like this is probably the way we got to go. The 6 members of the band. 3 were. So one was from Berlin and was from Berlin. One, we will say that he was German. We want to use that language. Well, let's see what we can do. One was also from Berlin. He was Jewish and his parents were from Russia. Oh, hey. Ammo. Nice. Also, let's just repair stuff. You know what? I feel like I'm running out of weapon parts. I need to sort of break down some of my weapons for weapon parts coming up pretty soon. Robert Biberti was German, non-Jewish, grew up in Berlin. One was from Berlin. His parents were from Russia. One was from Austria, also not Jewish. One was from Bulgaria, not Jewish. One was German. His parents were also German, but his parents were Jewish, were baptized Catholic, and he was raised Catholic until the Nuremberg laws said that he was Jewish. And then one was from Romania, and he was also Jewish. There's 3 Jewish members, 3 non-Jewish members. Okay, so let's walk this way. So in these interviews, they were talking about the various members, and they talked about, hey, be right, they were talking about the 2, Roman Tchaikovsky and Adi Leshnikov. Roman Tchaikovsky was from, again, this is where I want to be, right there. All right, y'all, we're at this pipe again. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make my way up, and I'm going to be able to climb this pipe. I'm climbing this pipe. This is how I'm gonna get up there. I'm gonna climb this pipe. I'm climbing the pipe, and I'm going to get up there. I want you to know this is how we're getting up here, and this is not gonna. They're not gonna make it up there. Okay, so we're not climbing the pipe. That's not how we're getting up there. That's not how we're getting up there. Okay. Well, interesting. How are we getting up there? This was a problem the last time we had to get up there. Vera, I have a feeling I'm close to some kind of ultimate answer to life, to the universe and everything. So we can't get up there from here. Let's try here. We haven't tried that way. Let's try that option. Perhaps that will work. So they were talking about them. They said, you know, Roman Tchaikovsky, he was from Romania. And you know, Romania is the Orient. And he was very Oriental, and you could just tell that he was so Oriental because he was from Romania. Is there a way to get higher up? I have tried, and that has not worked so far, which is frustrating. Because that is a... Did we try to get through this side quest mission before and not get there? All right, so let's try this way. Let's see if we can get there from here. So we are here, and we want to get here. Well, let's see what we can do. I do not think we need to go this way. I think we can maybe walk this way. Look, this is, we're going to see. We're going to see what we can do. We'll see if this will get us there. I don't know if it will, but if it will, I'll be happy. Climbing, something that doesn't exist. So, they saw Romania as the East, as the Orient. And that might surprise people, that Romania is considered the East. Hey, look! This is that pipe. That pipe we tried to climb that they will not let us climb. Okay, so that did not do it for us. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, okay. All right, all right. Okay, how are we going to get to this place? How are we going to get there? We need to get up there. And I have tried dropping down from hill, but they've got mountains in the way that don't let us get there. So how do we get there? And this bridge gets us too low. What will do it? What will do it? And I believe that doorway is barred. Nope. We don't tend to use the word Orient to mean just the East. When we say the East versus the West, right? Because it's the East versus the West, because that's how they do things. They don't. I would like to get in there, but I can't. All right, so this is. We haven't tried here. Let's try here. So there was a really interesting article that I had my students read about Orientalism in the United States. So when people talk about Orientalism in the United States, they tend to be talking about China, Japan, the Far East. Far East Asia is what Americans tend to mean by PH. That was very good. PH just said if someone moves out of the East, they become disoriented. That is very good. So when in the U.S. when we say Orientalism, we tend to mean the Far East. Far East Asia tends to be what we mean. Okay, so we are now currently here. I do not think that door is sealed, so we cannot go in that door. For goodness sakes. Are you orienteering some kind of Eastern travelogue or something? You all are so good. So in the U.S., we tend to mean the Far East Asia is what we tend to mean when we say Orientalism. However, the person who coined the term, because for us, the Orient is Far East Asia. But for the person who coined the term Orientalism, Edward Said, he was actually talking about the ways in which Europe has traditionally meant Orientalism, by which they meant the Middle East. Hi, my friends. The Middle East, right? So the Middle East becomes the East, the line between the East and the West. Western countries versus Eastern countries. There's a big fight going on. Let me do this. So they're going to mean... hi. What is going on? So they're going to mean basically the Middle East, right? That's the difference between the East and the West, because we talk about like Eastern and Western all the time, right? Like Western countries, Western civilization, Western culture, blah 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 blah. It's all made up. It's all kind of bogus. But while we have now sort of become used to sort of making that line between the East and the West, so we do Far East, but they're going to do. At that point, I'm used to do the Middle East, so that's going to be where that sort of gap is. And I will note that these things are still contested because Turkey likes to frame itself as Western. Sometimes it's not. So Said not consider the Middle East as the no, he is. Said is considered the Middle East the Orient. Since Romania and the former Yugoslavia no allies between Europe and the Middle East, those are the Near East sides, but that's near, Middle, and Far East. So Said is calling the Middle East. Well, he's saying that the West considers like Western Europe has historically called the Middle East the Orient. So when he's talking about Orientalism, he's talking about the Middle East, right? So we're talking about like Scheherazade, 1001 Nights, that kind of a thing. What's up here, by the way? Oh, I think this is where I need to end up in the end. But yet again, by the way, this has not gotten us to where we need to be. We need to be here. But for the life of me, I do not know how we're going to get there. Well, I'm telling you, for the life of me, I do not know how we are supposed to get to this place. Which means, since I don't know how we're going to get there, we are going to go back here, and we're going to go there. This is where we're going to go. We're going to go to this mission because I know we can get there. And we're going to try to figure out that way to that one space at some point, but it's going to drive me to distraction. So if you go in there, but I can't get in there. It's sealed. I have to go to this other place first. So here's the thing. So now we think about, where is the line between the east and the west? The east and the west. So there are other ways of thinking about the line between the east and the west. Some people have argued that the line between the east and the west runs through Bosnia-Herzegovina. That's where the line between the east and the west is. That everything to the east of Bosnia-Herzegovina is the west in Western countries, and everything to the right is the east and the Orient. So some people put that line there. Now, there are a number of early 19th century scholars and treatises that put the line between the East and the West in Germany. That Germany is half Oriental and half Western. Because the Germans are so exotic in various ways, right? So I'm just trying to point out that what is considered, like, so for those Germans, they were like, oh, Romania is the Orient and we are Western. But there are a bunch of people that thought of Germany as being the line, like half of Germany is the Orient and half of Germany is the West, and that Germans aren't necessarily completely Western yet. So my point being that what considers Western, because you have to note that Western has a lot of political import, right? Since there's a lot of hello, safe. So some people would consider Austria Oriental. That was 19th century, but that Austria was this mysterious and very like exotic Oriental space, and parts of like eastern parts of Germany was still the Orient, but then western parts of Germany were civil. And it's important to note when we talk about East versus West in a colonialist and racist sort of way, East and West also means civilized versus non-civilized, right? Whether or not you have civilization or not have civilization. This is part of what's going on with Eastern versus Western is racism, colonialism. And it also sort of like helps justify invading those places. I'm going to unlock this with this passkey. And I'm going to save. I'm going to save right now. Yes. It's also one of the reasons why the term Oriental is considered offensive and a slur, because it's this weird, sketchy thing is what it is. And we're going to just repair our gear again. Because we should. And we are going to... we're just going to go in here. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to just go in here and we're going to see what happens in the place. We need to... Yeah, okay. Here we go. Turkey has only wanted to consider itself Western since Ataturk. Yes. Which is admittedly a century ago. Yep. And as is the modernist rejecting the Ottoman entity of that history. Absolutely. Are they making... They're all... Yeah. So, yeah. So that's the thing, right? So the idea of Western versus Eastern is bogus. It's just made up, right? And a lot of the things that are the part of the basis of the West versus the East or the Orient is just sketchy. Sometimes it's religion. Sometimes it's whether or not they want to invade you. uh, in Crusades. Sometimes, and like there are these things that people will say, but those things are bogus things. Is the best way I can put it, right? Like they're just bogus things. For example, they would say, well, the West though is based off of the Greek ideals, right? Like we are the West is the inheritors of ancient Greek philosophy and all of that, right? It's like this is the tradition of ancient Greece that makes us the West. But Greece right now is often not treated like the West. It's only like ancient Greece, and almost all those ancient Greek texts we got from the Middle East because that's where they were being saved. Some of this has to do with the Holy Roman Empire. There's just like a lot of like weirdness, and but please note, there's a lot going on in terms of the value of life, right? A lot of like Western demagogues treat the lives of people in the East, wherever that is, as less valuable than lives in the West. There's also sort of like really sketchinesses around like how you treat women who are thought of it being Eastern. Like there's just a lot of sketchinesses that are involved in these distinctions of
Something smells like a marauder's armpit.
East versus West.
Quick, please.
Well, sure, of course. We will be as quick as we can. People are being loud outside of my door. That's fine. I have two different ways I can go. And I don't know which way is the way I want to go. I don't even know if I can go this way. So that seems to be convenient. If I can't actually go this way, then I don't have to make that choice. So I'll just loot instead. And right, we use East and West in terms of like the East being the enemy. And if you look at Asians Represent, they do some discussions about the ways in which the East is depicted in really gross, terrible ways. And that's all part of like Orientalism, exoticism, and justification for invasion, and all sorts of bad behavior. Like a lot of the ways in which Asian and or Eastern women are.
Welcome to Human Emporium Auditing, a Spacer's Choice facility. My name is Dr. Marion Blakesley, and I'd like to congratulate you all on volunteering for this important opportunity. Whatever your past, know that as of today, each of you will be part of something greater. Together, we will unlock the path to discoveries that profit all of us.
Our brightest minds did their dirtiest work here. We made puppets out of people and tested them until they broke. Walk softly, Captain. Some of them still live here, and they hate to be disturbed.
I mean,
They clearly don't know how we work, Captain.
After the nightmare that was the chem lab, I think we're about ready for anything.
there, I'll give you more volume if that helps you. So now it'll be quite loud, but we'll see how that goes for you. Okay, let me save while I'm here, by the way. Let's just save. Let's save. Yes. We'll resume. Time of gifts notes. Well, you see that in Dracula, where Harker feels superior to the superstitious Transylvanian peasants until he starts feeling, having this crucifix is rather comforting. Absolutely. I think another thing that's really important to note about Dracula, besides him being metaphor for sexual predation, which is also a lot of part of this, is that he's also exotic and Eastern, right? And the thing is, I think the dialogue's pretty quiet, but the other things are less quiet. So awkward. Yeah, and there's a way in which you have to think about like the history of sex tourism to Asia and the ways in which Eastern women, so Asian, Middle Eastern, right, Far East, Middle East, Near East, a lot of those women are heavily sex trafficked There's a lot of like sexual tourism. There's a lot of like really bad sexual and sexualized treatment of women from those spaces, and that is tied into Orientalism and the treatment of the East as this exotic and primitive place that you can just take what you want. There's like a lot going in there that is bad, right? And classical music is implicated in these things. On the plus side, I can hear Trooper Grape. My new setup isn't fully done yet, though. You have to know I'm still in the old setup. The new setup will be done. It's just not fully there yet. Also, by the way, how is my frame rates? Looks good. Okay, so what I wanted to say about this was, so Donald Trump, when he was president, went to NATO, and he was giving a talk to NATO about, like, the evils of the East and how we have to protect ourselves from the East and blah, 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 the East, the East, the East. And he said this thing about the West versus the East, because the West, you know, the West is the best and the East is a beast or whatever, right? All that terribleness, right? How like we, blah, 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 freedom, bleep, blah, blah, blue, blah, 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 blah. And he was talking about how the West is civilized and the East is not civilized. And he said, he was talking about how you know that the West is better than the East. And he said, and I'm going to write about this, by the way. He said, you know that we are like greater because we make symphonies. The West makes symphonies, and that's how you know that we are greater and more civilized and more valuable, right? And so there's a whole long tradition of framing the East as primitive and able to be conquered, in terms of land, in terms of people, sexuality, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the West as being intellectual and smart, right? Mind, body split and all that. But what I wanted to note was that for a number of people, Germany, or at least half of it, was the East at some point in time. And so the line between what is and what isn't that East that you can marginalize and treat and exoticize and treat poorly, that line moves. That line moves is what I would say. And I just think it's important to note that that line moves. That it's not like, oh, well, you know, we're a fixed thing. So Trump is from the Eastern... Oh, no, he's from the West because he's from the first world. He's from the US and we are Western. Yep, PH, that is absolutely correct. Yeah. I'd love to hear Trump symphony. Yeah, he can't make a symphony. Some dude just said yesterday on Democracy Now! That it was okay for us to let in more Ukrainian refugees than Afghan refugees because the Ukrainians were better at integrating. It was gross. Right, because so in Krellin, in this idea, they'd want to say that Ukraine is the West, while Afghanistan is the East, right? That's what they're going to do, right? And so like where that line comes from is going to be based on what politically you want to do, right? Donald needs to look up from his Big Mac to inspire some other cultures. Yeah. DSP says, this is literally just Ben Shapiro being like, rap music isn't music because it doesn't have melody, rhythm, and harmony. 12 Tone was like, actually, you don't need melody. Take these Korean songs. Also take these ancient Christian church songs. They are the basis for contemporary hips. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Ben Shapiro does not know what he's talking about. Ben Shapiro, by the way, in case you're interested, because maybe you are, was an undergraduate at UCLA when I was a graduate student at UCLA. So I remember Ben Shapiro when he was a wee undergraduate. And Ben Shapiro, in case you are interested, used to write for he would write for like, I think we had some kind of conservative newspaper, or maybe he would write conservative columns in the regular newspaper. I don't really remember. Nonetheless, I do remember Ben Shapiro quite well, because Ben Shapiro Ben Shapiro had a lot of opinions as an undergraduate, and Ben Shapiro was so thanks. So Ben Shapiro, as an undergrad, I read his writing because he published it. You know, he wrote things publicly as an undergraduate, and he was Ben Shapiro, like most Harvard graduates, is ill-educated. Yeah. Ben Shapiro, okay, I'm going to say this thing. I'm just going to say it. And I'm going to note, please note, hashtag not all. Right? Hashtag not all. I'm going to note it. So I'm not saying this about everybody who's in this category. I'm just saying it that there is a type, and he fits this type, and it is a subtype of the larger category, but it is not everybody. So please, hashtag not all. I saw that Gogol Bordello played a special show for the King Troops. So there is a particular type of undergraduate that you can run into. This, by the way, is very low. I can't hear it either. I think this is just a repeat of the overview that we heard before. So do not worry about not hearing this. This is very low in its volume. Speaking of which, hold on. Let me save this game. And let me just see if there's anything weird with our sound settings. Let's see. Settings. Field of view, graphics, audio. Yeah, our audio is all up 100%, so it is not bad. All right, just checking. So, Ben Shapiro is a particular kind of undergrad who is very irritating. This is what he was like as an undergrad, and I will just tell you. And maybe you know these people, maybe you don't. I cannot say. But not all undergrads are like this. But there's a particular type of undergrad who was, or thought themselves to be, the smartest person in their high school. Yes, yes, he's a conservative talker. He's very smug. He's very, very, very smug. So there's a particular kind of high school student who thought themselves the smartest student in their high school. And they might have been, I don't know. I really cannot say if they were or they were not. But they get to college, and they still think they're the smartest person in the room. And they think they're smarter than everyone else as an undergraduate 18-year-old who has just got there and doesn't know anything. And so he gets there, and like most people of that space, and I think also he's probably the kind of person for whom high school is pretty easy. Like, it wasn't that hard, so he didn't actually have to work hard. He could basically bluff his way and still get A's. And so he came to UCLA very arrogant, very smug, very full of the idea that he knew everything and knew better than everyone else. And he also felt like he knew better than all of his professors who have studied these various topics their whole lives and have gotten PhDs, and he was 18 and knew nothing. And I will note, many undergraduates are not like this. Many undergraduates come to college and realize this is a new thing, and it's hard, and they learn, and they're there to learn, and they learn new things, and they are not like this. But he was one of those students who was very smug, very arrogant, at 18, was not as smart as he thought he was, did not know as much as he thought he was, and would not learn, could not be told that, right? Would resist not hearing that he did not know everything, and so he never learned. Do you know what I mean? Like, he would go to class, but he would not learn anything. Instead, what he would do is he would challenge the professor all the time, and he would make assumptions, and he would be disruptive, but he would never learn anything because he never thought that he needed to. And I can tell you what's wrong with these A's in a second. And I remember he went on this crusade. I think he was part of this group that would do, they would call out, they'd make a list of the most liberal professors on campus. And I think they would put, I can't remember what paper they put it in, probably their own little paper. And they would like call out the most liberal professors as an example of how terrible the university is because there are all these liberal professors. And he would call them out and like talk smack about these liberal professors and how terrible it is that we have them. And one year he put Lynn Vavreck on his list. She's a political scientist. I think because she gave him not a very good grade. and so he like called her out for her like liberal bias and her Democrat leaning bias, and how she was doing Democrat propaganda and liberal propaganda and all of her bias, and like this big huge rant against her. And she was not a Democrat, she was a Republican. I think by the time that I actually knew her, I think she'd stopped being a Republican, was more of an independent, but she had worked on Dan Quayle's she worked for Dan Quayle, who was a Republican vice president. She grew up a Republican. She worked in Republican administrations. She was not a Democrat or a liberal, but she didn't give him a good grade. And she also told him he was wrong about a number of things, because his conservatism was not, I don't know what it was. And she was like, oh yeah, none of that is actually true. And like, she was like, none of those things you're saying are accurate or true. And she called him out on a lot of stuff, and she told him he was wrong about a number of things. And so he basically called her this terrible, indoctrinating liberal, and it just wasn't even true. And he didn't even do his research, he didn't even know. So he just basically is often very, very ignorant, but very arrogant and smug. And he was like that as an undergraduate, and he just was not very good quality. So I never imagined in 100 years that he would become this famous commentator, because he was like such a, such a nothing at the time, that he was so poor quality, with no intellectual curiosity, and who just did bad quality work. I just never imagined that he'd become famous Ben Shapiro. But it all tracks, because it's not like he's gotten any better at all. He hasn't in any way, right? He still doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's still bad at what he does. He just, now people listen to him, which I find, the word I want is dumbass. Oh, thank you, Krone. He's a dumbass, and he still is a dumbass. And that's just one of those things that is always like it says a lot, and not in a good way, that that somebody who was such a poor quality dumbass is now looked up to and listened to by so many people. Because I will tell you what, everybody, all the professors that worked with him, knew he was not actually good, that he was a lot of talk, no substance, right? He was used to bluffing his way through high school and thought he could do it through college, and then he couldn't. And I mean, he still got through, right? But like, he didn't get through the way he wanted to, and he got bitter about it. So I think he hates universities, because they're just terrible places, but it's because he got challenged. He didn't like it. Because the program I was in and all exams were oral exams, and I scored high grades because I could finally show the stuff. That's not the same thing as an easy A. An easy A, Ice Bunny, is when you get an A for poor work, right? That basically, no matter what kind of work you do, bad work, you get things wrong, you still get A's. It doesn't matter if you know the things or don't know the things. That you don't actually have to do. You don't have to know anything, you can still get an A. Or they'll make the test so easy that anyone, even people who never took the class, can still get an A. So an easy A is an A that is basically unearned. Ben Shapiro has one thing to teach: how to find the confidence to public speaking when it has no redeeming qualities. Yes. Hey, Hawkeye. From Marion Blakesley about safety protocols. So it's about oh, hey, Hawkeye, did you see the slide that I made for you in the credits last Friday? For the show? In the credits, did you see him? Did you see him? I put this whole thing in there. I hope you saw them. Also, I've got surprises coming for you. Anyway, I have this really cool slide for you, and I hope you got to see it. If not, you'll see it. Yeah. So, oh well, you won't see them there, but I have one in there. The special shout, the sponsor shout out, and everybody shouted you out too. Yeah. So easy A's are about people buying a grade they didn't deserve, or getting a grade they didn't deserve in ways that are often tied to privilege. Let's be fair, in various ways. So let's see what we have here. Spacer's Choice. From M. Blakesley to all personnel, subject to safety guidelines. In order to minimize damage to company property and/or personnel, please observe the following guidelines during the volunteer induction process. 1. Do not touch and or handle test subjects. Please defer to security personnel. 2. Avoid using inflammatory phrases or terms such as untested chemicals. Consider patented Spacer's Choice formula. Test subject, consider valued volunteer. Cells, consider living quarters. Remind subjects that compliance is one of the requirements of their contract with Spacer's Choice. 4. Do not interrupt Spacer's Choice communications and or marketing while directing volunteers. Architect's balls, is that all the guidelines? Look, these people are coming here from Tartarus. Don't let your guard down, don't get friendly, and don't get close. If everyone does their job right, these volunteers will leave this facility as free and upstanding citizens. Oh, wrong button. Sorry about that. From M. Blakesley, this feels somewhat dark to me. Does it feel dark to you? Let's see what we can do about that. Let's go to our settings, and let's see if we can get our graphics to be a little bit... Oh, apparently, my gamma is already pretty low. I see. Let's, so this is where it probably should be, but let's just bring up our gamma. The left logo here. Here's our left logo. Let's up our gamma a little bit. Why don't we? Let's do that. Much better. I hope. Much better. This looks much better to me. Much better. I think that with the switcheroo, I think what happened is that because I updated my OS, I did not realize I needed to reshift that there. So there's that. There's that. Thank you for the 25-minute warning. Thank you. That sounds more like a Messerschmitt to me. Cousin Morton is no brain, has a big mouth, and he was made the head of the Danks Volkspartie, and he does an excellent job to ruin them. So yes. Let's get those incoming messages. Here we go. Upcoming changes. In light of certain recent developments, our friends at OCI have generously provided us with advice and guidelines intended to ensure the best possible outcomes for our research here at Human Inquiry and Auditing. To that end, we will be establishing new testing parameters and volunteer preparation guidelines effective immediately. These guidelines will be provided to you at your stations. I really would like to congratulate you all on what you've achieved so far. Keep your heads down and your minds focused on the work, and the rest will come easy. If you have any concerns, forward them to my assistant, Benjamin Morley. Testing supervisor. Let's go back to our incoming messages. Subject question. Every volunteer means just that, Ms. Sonoda. We're entering a vital phase of the testing process, and that means every volunteer participates in trials. It's all the more critical that we maintain careful records of the dosages involved, of course. We're counting on you for that. Let's see what these outgoing messages are. 1. Oh, what is this? Help. From C. Sonoda to J. Weaver. Weaver, have you seen my office keycard? If this is one of your little tests, it's not funny. Security is already at full burn. They're going to lose their bolts when they catch me taking the long way around to the faculty areas. Please tell me it's sitting on your desk or something. Oh. Well, this seems all bad, right? Hey, I feel so much more excited. Hey, better, right? This gamma situation, way better. Way better. I am much more excited about our visuals. So we came in this way. Or maybe we didn't. Maybe we came in this way? No. I feel like we came in that way. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes, no, yes, yes, yes. We came in this way. Good, we're good, we're good. We fixed it. We came in this way. Good. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out, I just have to figure out which one was published first of all the alones, and I will do that one first. And that's the alone that we'll do for our going solo on Friday. And, volunteer quarters. Do you have a sense this is going to be bad? Oh, well. I suppose it is what messed up situation it is. Other Doc, how are you? I hope you're well. I hope you're doing well. I have so many, y'all, I've got a lot of email I have to do once I get off the stream today, and also assets to prep and things to do. So remind me that I've got things to do when I leave. Also food to eat. I've got things to do. Food to eat. It'll be good. But I want to remind me I need to go and email. Here's the thing. There's an email I haven't done that I need to do. I need to email this person that asked me about streaming an RPG of theirs on the channel that is a horror game. And I need to get back to them about it because I think that would be very fun. And they're going to be in Kickstarter. They're going to be in crowdfunding. So I thought it'd be really fun to stream this, like a one-shot horror game that...
Volunteers my ass. These are cells.
Well, at least they kept him close to the drugs.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. Doesn't look great. Looks actually bad. Well, I don't know if I'd call these cells. You know what? Look, I don't think I would call these cells. I think I would call these barracks. These don't look that different from army barracks. So I don't think I would call them cells. That feels not the way. Look, ex-military, I just don't think I would call that a cell. I consider a cell a little bit more... Just looks like, this is like a barracks. An open bay barracks, that's all. That's all it is. I wouldn't... Oh, shampoo bottle. I wonder what shampoo bottles are used for. I wonder if, like, they're delicious. Now, that said, I am sure their experience was bad. I'm not minimizing their experience in any way because I'm sure it was bad. So, you know, but I just wouldn't call this a cell, is all. It looks like a barracks. That's it. Yeah, and those are very comfy and modern barracks. They're not actually, like, you know, they look like they'd be kind of comfortable. Yes, a new horror game.
Welcome, volunteers. This
Yes.
office environment is valuable
You know what?
communication, paper management, and self-motivation skills.
I have a...
This is your time to shine. You may just find yourselves doing similar work at a real office someday. Remember, compliance with all instructions from facility personnel is stipulated in your contracts.
Okay. I have thoughts. Side note, I need to eat food, but I'm not going to do that until I know that I'm in danger. And then I will eat food, or have to, like, pick a lock or something like that. Then. Employer rights, we know they're bad. Also, there are people here. We're going to have to get into some shooting, I think, soon. Let's do that now. So, look, I'm going to have a conversation with you all pretty soon. I've got a couple other things I've got to do first before we have some conversations. I've got some things I've got to do first. I've got some things I have to do first before we have some big conversations, so they cannot happen today. We've got some conversations to have. Those are nice chairs. And we will have them. I know I'm being vague. I understand that. But,
I'll keep it down.
oh, I'm very sorry about you, hysterical test subject. I'm going to have to shoot you in the back of the head.
Fine.
And I'm very sorry for that. You know, like that's, that just makes me... Oh, hi. Let me, do this. Oh, hi. Get out of my face. Oh, hi. Oh, gosh. Oh, hi. How you doing? Everybody use your powers. Use your powers, everybody. Or don't use your powers. I mean, use them if you want to. Hi.
Won't try that again.
Okay. Hey, Ellie, how are you doing? I see that you're injured, but it's cool. It's cool. Yes, I'm going to... maybe next week. I've got things I've got things to do, right? You know what I mean? Like, I've got things I've got to put into place before I can have a conversation with you all. But there are things I've got to put into place, and then I can have a big conversation with you all, and maybe I can do it next week. It would be good to be able to do it before class starts, which would be awesome, but I've got a couple things I gotta work out. Like, I would love to be able to announce what we're gonna do with this horror RPG, but I need to talk to them. This is the kind of thing that I mean. There's like, yes, there are those things. And the sad thing is that our social democratic PM tries so hard to be racist, hiding under feminism. Not that they had communism with mostly Arabic-looking names, suggested they should forbid headscarves in school, elementary school, grade K through 4, and middle 5 through 10, and all this only to score some votes from racists who would normally vote DF. Yeah. You know what I think is really interesting?
Welcome, volunteers. This office environment is where we will test your
Interesting.
communication, paper management, and self-motivation skills. This is your time to shine. You may just find yourselves doing similar work in a real office.
I'm gonna just loot all the things before we get to a new place.
Want to keep all instructions for facility personnel as stipulated in your contracts.
This all seems bad, you know? So what I think is really interesting about, like, we have to protect women from the oppressive headscarf, like, you can't wear the headscarf because it's oppressive, etc., 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 that kind of thing. So let's make it illegal to wear headscarves. They don't make nuns' habits illegal. Nuns' habits cover up all sorts of parts of their body, and nobody is saying we should make nuns' habits illegal. Also, being a person who enjoys old Hollywood, do you know what people like to wear all the time in old Hollywood? Headscarves. All the time. It's very popular in the 1940s. Lots of headscarves everywhere. And nobody finds it problematic if you cover up your body with a headscarf, but it's for fashion. So, just gonna note the lack of consistency is what I'll note. Also, we have like an entire movement in the United States about like modest dress. We've got all sorts of people that wear very, for religious reasons, right? Cover up your body things, and nobody wants to ban that. Or for keeping warm. Ooh, hey. I have done an optional thing. Got a whole bunch of XP. We're gonna... what do you think's up here?
So they like to watch, too? Creeps.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know. There are a lot of things from 1940s we should not bring back, but headscarves seem fine. Yeah, you know. My mom used to wear turbans all the time. It was quite the fashion in the 70s. Turbans were very fashionable in the 1970s. So, like, there's long been a tradition of wearing all sorts of different kinds of clothing, you know. It's just that sometimes we decide to... Yes, that's all I'm saying. People use massive 4 feet tall beehive-shaped wigs at Europe and cover their head. No one had... Yeah, it's true. It's true. And the thing is, it's just that these things are not being applied evenly. Let's just put it that way. Ooh, another test chamber. How's our map looking? Okay, so we made our way up here, which is going to get us to the upper level, which is interesting. Okay, let's just see where this will take us. What things will happen to us in this moment. Speaking of which, do you know what I think? I think that I probably need to repair my gear. I think I got hit by people, and that it hurt me, and that I didn't like it, and that I probably need to... repair my gear. Speaking of which, I think I want to get my medical up so that I can have 4 slots for my, you know, my med stim thing. That's my thought. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so here's the thing, everybody. I'm using weapons parts like they're going out of style. We're going to run out of them soon. And I feel like we should probably start breaking down weapons for parts soon. rather than selling them for money. And we're gonna also save because I want to see what's through the door. Hey, I fixed the gamma. Makes sense. I was like, you know what? I remember looking at that email and I was like, that email looks very dark. So I'm very excited that we have fixed. Look, changing the OS changed everything. Like everything kind of reset in its own weird way, and so, you know, or habits or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. So we just have to like, oh. So it looked the taste of freedom. Spacer's choice. Great. It looks to me like we have bypassed some people who might want to kill us, like them. That's cool. That's cool. Ooh.
Why do I get the feeling we haven't seen the worst of this place?
Because we probably haven't seen the worst of this place. This doesn't look good, everybody. It looks kind of bad. Looks not great. Oh, that person doesn't have a head. Cool. Cool. Loose lips, pink slips. I don't want to work here. I don't like the corporation. A key point in Drummond versus Malieu, where the House of Lords decided the cost of barristers' wigs and robes weren't tax deductible, as clothes served a dual purpose. They kept you warm and ensured public modesty, so they weren't only required for being a lawyer. Oh, that's so interesting. That's really interesting. I just need to say something. I'm feeling very... I'm having feelings. And my feelings are very... How do I describe them? It's hard to describe these feelings I'm having right now. My feelings are... It does not make feminism look good, because when it's about that women have choices, one's choice to be religious and express it the way they should fit. Yeah. Alex Schwartz was raging a war against... Yeah, no, I mean, look. Some people use things as excuses, right? Like...
But why? Why? Who does this?
I don't know.
What kind of monsters ran this place?
I'm washing my memory out with a bottle of Spectrum Red once we're back on the ship.
Yeah. This is bad. You know what I mean? Like, this is bad. Like, this is a bad thing. This whole place is bad. It's not good. It's bad. It's a bad thing. And I think we can feel like that's not controversial, right? Not a controversial thing to say. People like to use... Oh my god. What? Wow. 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 Oh, okay. Wow, Spacer's choice. Wow. Oh, okay. Well. Wow. Oh, golly. Those are people cubes. Yeah, this is not what I meant when I asked for a companion cube. So, here's the thing. I don't know why I would help these corporations. Like, I just don't know how I would help them. I don't know why I would do that. I know that you can, but I don't know why I would. It's hip to be square. I see you. I see you. I am, however, not going to go there yet because I feel like there was a computer that we could look at. And I think we're going to do that right now. I'm so glad we fixed that gamma situation. Messages. W0. From the Sandoval. Subject read bet. I don't want to play anymore. Let's just do our jobs, okay? What do you think that means? Well, let's look at our outgoing messages. Okay. This week's bet. Alright. My 10 bits are on 52F. I know what you're thinking. He's so skinny. That's got to be bad odds. But I'm a gambling man, Victoria, and I've got an eye for this now. What do you think? Ooh, I don't... Notice anything? No, I'm not talking about the subjects, Vicky. I'm talking about the numbers. I've been keeping track of how many bodies we process every day and every week, and the number fluctuates, but never too much. 1 and 3 and 2 and 5 and 1 and 1 and 2 and then 10. Just look at the chart I left on your desk. You can see for yourself there's a pattern. You see it, right? No. So, this seems real bad, right? I mean, right? Right. Right, this seems bad. Right? Yeah. Okay, I'm glad that we agree on this. That this seems bad. No good, not good. Cool. I'm glad that we've had this time together. I was going to tell about my feelings. Yes, I was having feelings. I want to tell you about them. My feelings are of warmth and friendship and gratitude. Those are my feelings. And I just wanted to say that I really appreciate you all very much. Oh, I think that's to call the elevator. Yes. We only have, like, a little bit of time. And that seems to be the way this is the way we should be going. So I figured we could maybe just look at that other direction to see if, oh, hey, guess what? Guess what? I'm over encumbered. But I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna become less over encumbered shortly. Because I'm gonna destroy some weapons and get weapons parts, and that'll do it for me. Where is this? Hey, I think this is where we came in, right? Right? Yes, it is. Perfect. Okay, this is great. This is where we came in. So we're golden, actually. I'm feeling very good about where we're at. I'm not feeling good about space choice. Yes, 5 minutes. What I'm going to do is get myself right to where we need to go. So when we start, we know what we're starting at. We are going to go right in here, and we're going to elevate. And this is where we're going to go. This is where we're going to pause it. We're going to save right here, and we're not going to leave this elevator. We're going to save the game, and then we're going to talk about all the things that are happening. Full disclosure, when I get off the stream with you, I'm going to actually, go back in. I'm not going to go forward and play anything. I'm just going to go through my inventory and, like, break down some weapons. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to play. I'm just breaking down the weapons to make my encumbrance less, clean myself up a little bit, but nothing outrageous. So, I would like to thank you all for watching with me. This has been really lovely. I really appreciated this. It's been very nice. Every single one of you that's been hanging out with me, I want to thank you. We are going to do a raid, by the way. So let me tell you some things. One, this has been, yes, send game-related, yes, I need to send, look, the first thing I do is I need to send some game-related emails because there's this, a horror RPG one-shot that I really want to be able to do, and I want to get back to them and say yes. Yes. The next thing I want to do is, and then I need to send an email to my students and that kind of stuff. And I need to write, so I need to send some emails. I need to send some emails. I need to send some RPG-related emails, Fox-related emails, including, I really want to go, look, here's my goal today. I'm going to say it out loud, because if I say it out loud, I might manifest it. This is what I'm going to do. Are you ready? Today, I don't know if this will happen, but today, what I want to do is email a bunch of people in terms of, I've got foxhole emails to make. One about this game, this one shot. Two, I need to actually go and email Twitch. And what I want to do is contest the muting of my old stream, my that stream that I made, that the music stream, and if I can, and I want to contest the muting of the pre-stream music, which is public domain, because it has gone to the public domain now. And if I can get both of those things and get positive responses, then I can actually do a music stream again. So I want to put in my today. I want to put in my I want to email Twitch and dispute the claims I have on that old stuff, because if I can get the old stuff through, then maybe I can do the new stuff. So I want to do this. And so I've got a couple other people I need to email about scheduling stuff. So that's the Foxhole stuff that I need to do. The next thing I need to do is work stuff emails. I need to email some of my students who have had questions about registration. I need to email this woman who needs to give me information for my TAs. That needs to happen. Then I need to write a tenure letter. That I'm going to do today. I'm going to write a tenure letter today. And that's like, those are 3 things I'm going to eat. Maybe I'll make tuna casserole that I have to do today. Must do, that I really, really want to do. There's another thing that I need to do on top of that. There are a couple other things I need to do, but that I also want to find out which of the Alone series came first. That's the other thing I want to do today. Which of the Alone series came first, so I can do that first on Friday. So those are the things I need to do. Make a list to contact you for accountability later today. Yes. Did I find a good lawyer to kick Twitch? I found a lawyer, but also Twitch actually does want creators to make music on their streams. So they actually have a couple of pages with links to people to talk to, lawyers who are pro creators. So I also want to go to those websites and check those out. So I've got a couple like copyright things I want to do in advance, and I need to eat. So where can you find me next? Tomorrow at 2 p.m. on MS Society, I will be doing a charity stream, a charity D&D stream, 2 p.m. Eastern, with Wandering DM as the GM. So you should totally go there and check it out. It's for charity. Monday night at 8:30 p.m. on Wandering DM's channel will be the premiere of Montreal by Night, where I will have my vampire, which I'm very excited about, a little V5. Wednesday at 8 p.m. over at Laugh Love Lindy will be Upon the Hexhamshire Moor, starting Cycle 4 with a big time skip. Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern on my channel will be either The Long Dark or Twice Reborn. I'm not quite sure which one is which one will happen, because one, I need to know if Lindy is free, but secondly, it turns out Twice Reborn is a 32-bit program, which means it does not run on the OS I'm currently running, which means the other thing I should probably try to get done today. Really, one of the things I really want to get done today is I've got 49 or 50 programs left to review from the old computer, and I would really like to go through all the rest of them and bring them over, because I'll tell you why. I really suspect having those programs on my external hard drive is messing with my computer a little bit. I think my computer is a little confused about what is what, and I do not want those old programs I don't want them to be recognized, right? I just want to pull them over. So I really want to get the last of those programs pulled over, so that then I can maybe archive that entire folder, so that I know it will not be causing any conflicts with anything. So that is a goal that I would have to do. That would be really great. Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing Going Solo, one of the Call of Cthulhu Alone solo adventures. So that's where you can find me for the next week, and expect something exciting. I don't know what yet, but we'll figure it out. So I know 30-bit programs, like, what is that? So that is that. And I want you to know there's been a lot going on behind the scenes, and a lot of work, a lot of stuff, a lot of people dumping work on me that they probably should not, but it has to get done, and so I will do it. So there's been a lot of hecticness, late nights getting assets done and emailing people and doing this and that. And I want to thank you all for sticking by me and being with me. And I want you to know that you all are very special and important to me. And a lot of the things I do, the choices that I make because I care about you all. And if it's an RPG, it's because I care about the people at the table. So I just want to let you know that I really thank you for sticking by me and supporting me and helping me do the right thing by people. So that means a lot to me. And I want to thank you for that. And also, I want to thank you for sitting through this exciting experiment where I changed my stream settings and, you know, upped my FPS from 30 to 60, upped my bits. I might try upping my bits on my next stream, which will be the Thursday stream. I might up my bit rate from 4,500 to 4,500 to 5,000 to see if that makes a difference. But right now, everything is super stable. I might do one experiment, and this is going to be very experimental, and we might see how I feel about it. And that is, I might see what it's like to stream to 1080 rather than 720. I don't know if I'll like it or if it'll be good, but we will see. That'll be our experiment. So I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for making it worth it and keeping me heartened. So the real test should be at midnight Eastern to ensure that you know what though, here's the thing, Rissa, that does not happen on campus. That was only happening when I was working with Spectrum did that all the time, but here it's never a problem. So I just feel like that has to do with certain kinds of weird internet people. I thought that was Spectrum is what that was. So that's what I'm going to say about that. We're going to raid Fuzzy Freaks because Fuzzy Freaks was a member of Spy Team 67 and amazing. And so I would say please give Fuzzy Freaks some love and drop our raid command out there so we can give her some love, and because she's pretty amazing. And we're going to go and raid Fuzzy. So my friends, I care about you all very much. Thank you for helping build this community, and I will see you maybe tomorrow, and certainly for some RPGs in the first half of the week, but we will talk on Thursday. So my friends, take care of yourselves, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.